Hello, everybody, and welcome to unMadeGaming. It is Wednesday, and that means it is time for 6 and 20, the Shroud. And that is the last time you'll hear me say that. Unless, of course, you go back and watch it on YouTube, which I encourage you to do. Go watch it on YouTube. And like and comment. I need the views. Let's go. Just go over there. But it is Wednesday. It is the series finale for the Shroud. This is the last episode of this show. The last episode of the entire 6 and 20 Blades in the Dark is tomorrow. And we're here to fuck things up for everybody. So, with that, let's go around and introduce our cast and crew for the final time. Johnny, who are you? What are you doing here? And what are we doing tonight?
Johnny, VideostoreCowboy, VideostoreCowboy channel, GM for 6 and 20, and I'm here to fuck your shit up tonight.
Okay.
In fact, the folks from my channel fucked up your shit last night.
Did they, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yawn.
I'm sure they did.
I wasn't talking about Skurlock.
Well, that was part of the plan.
I wasn't talking about Skurlock.
You're talking about, like,
I'm
all the things
I'm being completely honest.
all the things they blew up?
You don't know what's coming for you.
I mean, we're performing an end-of-the-world ritual, so I don't care what they blew up.
Yeah, okay, whatever. All right, well, you know what? That's me. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go back to my scheming and plotting and planning.
That's fair. You do that. You only have, like, what, 6 more hours left of that. So we'll jump over to today and tomorrow. We'll jump over to Slade, who's clearly not paying attention. Slade, who are you? What are you doing here? And why aren't you dressed up today?
Hi, Wales India. I'm not dressed up because it's stinging hot. It's New Zealand. But yeah, I still think I look the dapperest. This will be my last time playing Bella Bitch.
I mean, will it?
No.
Okay. We'll jump over to the girl with the most makeup on. Greg, who are you? What are you doing here? And who are you playing today?
Grimjack21502 on Twitch and Twitter, and tonight I will be playing for the very last time the Godling, soon-to-be God-Man, Steam. I'm not sure what Johnny has in store for us, but if it's anything like the rest of the series, it should be fun, it should be memorable, it should be a story that I shan't forget for at least 48 hours. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping to end on a good note with some wonderful people who I've enjoyed quite a bit over the last couple months. These characters mean a lot to me. My makeup may run.
Who are these people you're talking to?
You wouldn't know them. They live in Canada.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was going to say, it's not this show that we're speaking about.
He's got kids.
And currently we have bets going on how long the veil lasts, both in-game and out-of-game. Mr. Ninja, who are you? What are you doing here? And who are you playing today?
Oh, that was pretty good. I'll give you that.
Thanks.
Next, Miss Ginger Ninja. I run a gaming channel. We play a little bit of Blades and other things. Yeah, tonight's going to be epic. I'm a little sad to be ending this. It's the longest series I've ever done for Tabletop on Twitch. So, you know, it's good. Also, you're the second most makeup, for sure. Because how many times did you go over that eyeliner?
I used the liquid one, and it was fine.
I told you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, yes, I used your makeup.
It's much better.
Much better.
You stole my pen?
Yeah. I mean, you left it here in my bathroom, so now it's mine now.
Nope.
It's mine now.
Nick's dying tonight, guys.
This is what happens when you leave your cosmetics in my house. They're mine now.
And tonight on 6 and 20, we
Speaking
talk
of-
makeup.
About makeup.
When don't we? Look at this tie. You kidding me? Yeah.
Gross.
It's a Windsor. So with that, guys, for the final time of 6 and 20, the Shroud, I will remind you that there is a donation section down below. You guys can donate to affect the game, nat 1s, nat 20s, all kinds of cool shit, so feel free to do all that good stuff. And with that, Johnny, take us away.
You didn't want to say take us away for the last time?
No.
Did you not want to reinforce the fact that it's the last time?
No. It ruins the flow.
You didn't want to reinforce the fact that you guys are all in a precarious situation as you try to accomplish some weird ritual that you only think you half understand?
No.
Really?
No, we only half understand most of the things we did, and we did them all.
And that's twice as much as anybody else on any other
That's
team
fair.
understands. So we're ahead of the game.
That's a fair observation. I mean,
we're about to change the world. Come on now.
I just know we're not playing 5th edition.
Is it going to involve bad touching there? Because, you know, whenever Michael Jackson changed the world, it involved a bad touch.
Depends your definition of bad.
All right. So I'm just going to hit the highlights of last week and get right into it because, guys, we had a lot to do before the end of the evening. Last week, OC became the Dimmer Sisters. Like, literally, there was this ritual, it was a thing, Naya was there were some problems, and then whoosh, it was all about OC, the new Dimmer Sisters. Or the sisters, or whatever. What would OC call it now? I'm looking forward to finding out tonight. Separately, Steam found himself in a precarious situation as he was presented with a choice: save his friend from some uncertain doom, or go save everybody in the Crow's Tower, or in the Crow's Nest. He chose the Crow's Nest. He apologized to OC later, and we still don't understand what the ramifications of that decision were. And then we move on to Nyx and Bowerstone. Bowerstone had a pretty easy time last week because he just recovered from having not multiple personalities, but a weird sort of, crazy thing going on. And, his parents are no longer bugging him because Steam basically convinced them that they're going to take care of some problems that they're upset about. And then OC, with the knowledge of the Dimmer Sisters, fixed Bowerstone, and now he no longer phases in and out of sleep. He no longer deals with this dementia kind of a thing, and so he just literally died and came back to life. So,
for the third time.
You're welcome, by the way.
Well, this time I think you literally died. Right? It was a literal death, right? It was the first literal death for you.
I'm gonna say yes.
Good.
Yeah.
And then over to
Technically died.
Yes. And over to Nyx, who got the response he was looking for, but it came with a little bit of baggage that may no longer have an impact. But his baggage was, yes, he can become a vampire, and they are prepared and waiting for him. However, it would mean service to the High Inquisitor Skurlock, who, if you watched last night's episode, not very many people did, died last night. So, what is the status of what's going to happen with Nyx? Because he was given a bottle that would absorb his soul when he dies, but Skurlock told him he would come and get it.
Yeah, he's got friends.
I believe that. Anyways, so let's come back right into the setting of the story. Nyx, Steam, OC, Bowerstone. Where are you?
Where did we leave off?
We left off in the bar after I killed Mr. Bowerstone.
Oh, right. I was
Mr.
outside.
Bowerstone. And you heard the explosion of the crematorium.
Yeah, I was outside, and I was having a conversation with what looked to be myself.
Exactly.
And then...
and for the audience's reference, this is all outside of the Gallows Respite, the tavern/pub that you own inside of Crowsfoot.
I mean, I'm attuned right now, so if I looked out, I wouldn't have, but if I had looked outside, I would have seen them.
Seen Tittle and Jot? You would have seen Tittle and Jot anyways. They burn very bright. They're vibrant. And you would have memories of them in the distant past that would kind of tickle your brain, but would require you to think about it.
Starting, I would like to have a conversation. Yeah, a little bit. Tickle a part of my brain where people talk to me. I'm not. You are. Yeah, I want to ask the sisters something.
Okay.
I would go... So I know how it works normally is I just talk out loud because I'm not really used to...
You would...
Could I just think it?
You can have an internal monologue. Absolutely.
Because I would ask why they don't want things to be back to the way they were.
Because we put them this way, and we like them this way.
Why?
Because the princes are coming.
Why do you want that? You know what I'm asking for, what information I want. If you're going to yell at me every time I go against you, then tell me what you want.
We want the last of the Golden to die, so that the princes may finally emerge from their prison.
Why do you want them to emerge?
Because it will bring a new age
Why do you want that? Why do you want that? Again, I'm going to keep asking why until you tell me. All of it. All of what we're doing. Why?
Because ultimately we serve them, and we have always served them. All of our decisions and all of our plans and plots have served to release the princess. They are our masters, and we want our just reward.
What do they promise you?
A new form of immortality.
So, were I to help you with this, not saying I would, but if I were to,
everything that we ask of you and more, that is the bargain. You gain our power. You complete our agenda.
with that she smiles and looks back to Nye. Join us then. I want that for her too.
In good time.
When? I don't want in due time. Everything that you guys have put me through, everything I've been through with her, I want to know when.
And you killed us. And you eliminated our ability to affect the world. And there are many things that we still need to do. So you need to step up to your end of the bargain and start executing on our plan. And then you will gain your soulmate.
Can I do a flashback for that
Sure.
thing that we talked about that I don't want to go into just yet?
Sure.
Okay.
So that's not going to cost you any stress, but yes, there is that little element sort of playing in the background, and we will get to that in due time.
Thank you.
But so the more that you challenge them, the more that you feel a strong presence of will beginning to form against essentially your consciousness, your control.
Okay. When she starts to feel that gets stronger after that last question, she'll stop.
Okay. And this all happens in the span of a couple of seconds, so really nothing has transpired to change for anybody else outside of it. And that's the beauty of this, right? When you go inside, when you go internal, it may seem infinite, but not much happens around you. It is a very expedient exchange.
Is there any way of me knowing who the people that they referenced are? The ones that are still alive? That
Yes.
they want killed?
Yes. And they match, a couple of them match the description of the red dwarf looking person that Nyx ran into at the Opera House event.
So that's one. Do I know any of the other ones?
Nope.
Okay.
But you don't even know that person. You don't even know that Talk is actually by name, other than from the memory.
Yeah.
You were only able to reference that from the description that Nyx gave you.
Okay. Trying to think if I have any more questions. So I guess now grilling these ghosts don't leave me the fuck alone. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
I'll just talk to myself in the corner while you guys do your thing.
So Nyx has a conversation outside with a pair of ghosts, and then sends them off to go find one certain whisper, and then he heads back inside and says, "So, remind me again, what is the plan? We need to find all of the ghosts in the entire city, sacrifice them to some ritual, restart the world, and before that we need to kill all of the Northook. Yes?"
Yes.
Sounds simple enough, no?
Technically, if we use the lightning barrier as the border for the ritual, the spirits are already within it.
Maybe I shouldn't be here for this.
Why?
You know why. It's getting louder in here.
They're going to best you?
No.
Then
But
I
it
do
does
not
make it
fear
more
you.
difficult for me.
We need you, OC.
And I need me at my best to be able to do this.
Where else would you go?
You tell me.
Well, if what Steam is saying is correct and we're using the entire city as the ritual point.
I meant while you plot.
Oh. I feel like that was it.
The sisters... The sisters want people dead so that the princes come. Call it a counter plan. That red dwarf you mentioned
Yes.
is one of them.
I assumed as much.
He will be coming. None of them want to see it.
None of us. They're in here with me.
Oh, I was going to say I'm fine seeing it. I don't have a problem at all. So what do you
Well-
propose?
It's a sequence of events, Shroud. We are very good at them. North Hook?
That I can easily help with.
The Dimmer Sisters. And then we bring back the sky.
The Dimmer sisters we can deal with later.
There is
I
a
will
slight,
be a part of them.
there's a slight
They're not
modification to your plan. He reaches in his pocket and pulls out the vial, which is a much, much smaller bottle, and tosses it to Steam. He says, "This was given to me by the Lord Inquisitor."
More things I don't want to know.
Yes,
I will
For
be
your-
back.
For your transformation.
yes. When I die, it will capture my soul almost instantly. However, if he doesn't come to collect it, it needs to be brought to the library.
Bowerstone or I can do that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do that for you. I mean, after all, I need your body. So I'll take care of your spirit as well.
That's fine. Everything comes to plan then. So,
Nye and I are to be joined. I will help you guys. Get in, kill whoever we need, and then I need to be joined with her.
What does that mean, OC?
We're standing away from the bar. She doesn't know yet. And I need to talk to her. And it means that, like the Dimmer sisters, she will be with me. Otherwise, she will be one of the people that are lost. I don't believe she's fully anchored in that body. And I can't lose her after all of this. This is what they promised me. And this is what I want. Otherwise, it was all for nothing.
Okay.
She raises a glass. North Hook?
To the Shroud.
to me.
To the
Let's
Shroud.
give it to him. He'll be dead soon anyway. Finally.
All right, to Nyx.
Thanks, everyone. Plans within plans.
Doors and keys.
Raymond, you look vexed. Are you...
I died. To me!
Yes.
Since we're all doing it.
I mean, to be
I
fair,
already drank, but
To be fair, Raymond, you've been on the verge of death for months now.
Let's be honest. You could call me a cockroach.
Yeah. If I haven't tried to kill you, OC's tried to kill you, and Steam's tried to kill you.
I just killed him, to be
no,
fair.
I know, you succeeded.
She succeeded,
Yeah.
yes.
Let's all
Technically,
be
she
well
was the
aware.
one that did it.
Yeah, the council tried to kill you.
Yeah.
Random thugs
I-
tried to kill you.
I know what you're saying, Nix. It's sweet. I'm the greatest. But let's concentrate on the task at hand.
I don't
How
think
we
anyone
gonna-
has ever said that.
This is a
What I'm trying
product.
to say, Raymond, is that you're so good at almost dying. I need you to not die at the Northwood Company.
That is a real task you're asking him.
I know. It's the hardest challenge he's had in these last few
Not
months.
dying?
Not dying. So,
Well, you said you called dibs on killing Mr. Phillips. I'll give you that one.
Bring him out.
thank you,
We do not-
Raymond.
We do not need to go into Norfolk to kill Phillips.
Oh, we are going to, though. We definitely want to kill him.
Oh, yes, but we don't have to go into their goddamn stronghold.
What if I do? And things get a little heated.
We're not starting a war.
No, we're starting
Well-
a fire.
I mean,
It was always burning since the world's been turning.
And I know that we didn't start the fire.
I mean, we have just been. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not playing this game with you.
It can still burn on and on and on and on.
So when do we? Where does it stop? Okay.
So we're all in agreement. Northhook first.
Yes.
And we're just going to walk in.
Well, I have to set up a meeting.
Right. Why can't that meeting be somewhere other than Northhook?
Because they think
Oh,
they're
we can
smarter than
try.
us.
Yes.
Why don't
They
we
may
do it at my
very well be.
establishment? It's empty.
Yes.
No one wants to go in there.
It's covered in...
I can't fix
blood.
it. Exactly.
Okay.
If you're going to cook and on a stove and make a mess, would you then go to someone else's house and mess theirs up? No, you'd go back to the same spot and then you clean it up in one go. Except I have
Sounds
no
very
plans. to go back
unhygienic.
there. Plus,
Remind
fire
me never to
extinguishers
eat at your
everywhere.
house.
As we've learned from Mr. DeStorosi over here.
It's true, I have put fire extinguishers everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to set up a meeting with Mr. Phillips at your vacated establishment. And you have fire extinguishers ready on hand to douse the fire.
No, we'll make them.
I'm sure Mr. Phillips is going to bring fire extinguishers with him, if we're being
Yes.
honest.
Yeah, they'll walk in and be right there ready for us.
Yes.
Steam.
Why are you whispering?
The fuck is he on about fire extinguishers for? What is he on about?
It's all right. Don't worry about it. It's a sight to behold. It's worth the price of admission.
OC takes a plastic bottle out. They have plastic bottles that I can just reach behind the bar and grab, and just cuts the side of it with a liquid in and pulls it back.
Oh, that's very Nix. That's very Nix.
So, Raymond, you set the meeting. Steam, we should double down and check this ritual if we can use the lightning barrier as its source or its containment. I'm sure there's something we must have to do.
We must prepare the lightning barrier the same way that Kay has prepared the park. Leave that to me.
Then do I just sit here? Look the best of us?
No. My good Mr. DeStorosi, you prepare to die.
Oh, well, death is the last great adventure.
Not if you're the sisters.
No, you just keep tormenting them over and over again. It's terrible. So, OC, let's head to your establishment and prepare.
Or
Oh,
we call a meeting, and you are the bait.
no, I already am the bait.
Yes, we'll meet you there.
Well, they're going to come regardless. That's the contract. And he grabs Raymond's arm. You can see the Norfolk symbol emblazoned into his arm. He has no choice. I am the bait.
It would make more sense if I was with him.
Fine.
We're both the bait.
We have the master, the beta, and the negotiator. And now, let's get to work.
And with that, you begin to hear commotion outside and some screams.
What was that, by the way? You were outside. Did you blow something up?
No, I didn't blow anything up. I'm right here. No, the crematorium exploded. That's probably fine, though.
I mean, we don't need it anyway for taking all these souls.
That's what I figured, yeah. It didn't seem like a very important...
It actually helps us.
That's what I thought as well.
There are more souls now. They cannot be
Screaming is
taken care
getting
of.
louder.
We should go get...
That's
Can I say-
disturbing.
There was an explosion.
The screaming it's been since the carnival, or the whatever they're calling it. It's been atrocious ever since then.
Like a
Imagine
din,
that.
like a low-level noise,
Yes.
just constant
It
screaming.
just buzzes in the back of my head. I stop listening.
Imagine that all the time in here.
I wouldn't
Yes.
want that.
I've experienced it. It's bullshit. You're
Okay,
sometimes ahead of yourself.
Listen, you're all terribly fucked up, but we have things we have to do.
Yes. Let's go.
As you're beginning to move out of the building, or out of the Rat Gal's respite, you see a commotion of crowd run by. A group of 5 or 6 people running down the street. A couple seconds of a beat, and then you see 2 spirit wardens chasing after them.
Well, interesting. This way, and he begins to walk towards the OC's establishment.
Okay, throughout the city, so I'm assuming it's OC and it's Bowerstone and Nyx moving to OC's establishment.
No, it's
Everybody?
It's
Steam
Bowerstone
and Nyx.
and Steam. Oh, I'm sorry, Nyx and Steam.
Nyx and Steam. Okay, and Bowerstone is going to set up the meeting itself, and then OC is disappearing.
No, she's coming with just for that part.
With who?
She doesn't want to just leave Nye. She will drop her off on the way.
Where?
Eden.
Fucking spirit daycare.
Eden. It's worded.
Okay.
Don't you laugh like you're planning. No, I'm taking her with me. I decided I'm taking her with me. I don't trust you, Johnny.
Hey,
Not gonna
you know
fuck
what?
you on the last episode, goddammit. You can't have her.
I'm not doing anything that you guys didn't already set up. Let's be honest. So, Bowerstone makes his way towards the Northwood Company. We'll deal with that in just a second. Steam and Nyx walking across town, I assume with OC, towing Nye behind her. Going from Crowsfoot to Silkshore, right? You're going to the Silkshore establishment and not the Night Market establishment?
Yeah, the one that's covered in blood, Silkshore.
Okay. So, walking across Crowsfoot, past the rubble that is the Crow's Nest, towards Silkshore, you see more of the sight of screaming people running and spirit wardens attacking them. And at one point, you watch as one spirit warden runs down a young woman and hooks her, and her body just falls flat forward. And the hook, kind of pulls back in, and the spirit warden almost looks like it's empowered a little bit. And looking around, it kind of turns and sees another person running and chases after them. Making your way into Silkshore, you see that the commotion is a little bit less, as the Bluecoats seem to have mounted a little bit more of a defense against this, as they're kind of fending off the Bluecoats. But it's taking 5 and 6 Bluecoats to fend off one spirit warden, and that's when you see one of them fall, and they crack something in its abdomen, and then you realize that what you're looking at is a hole inside of spirit warden bar. And so as you kind of make your way back towards the establishment itself, this is a pretty common sight inside of Silkshore. So we're going to cut to Bowerstone. How are you going to go set this up?
He had a secretary last time, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to extend the invitation personally, face to face.
Okay,
Instead
so
of
you're going
writing
back
a
to
letter.
you're going back to the Northwest building to do that specifically.
Correct.
Okay. When you arrive there, the secretary lets you know that that Phillips is not there. However, she will, take any information, and she will be happy to make arrangements so that you can receive, you can receive him shortly. She will send a courier to acknowledge, when the time has come up, kind of a thing. So.
I don't have time to wait around. I'll just leave a message then. Let him know that his deal is about to come to a completion. If he wishes for this, meet us here, OC's establishment at such and such time. And there shall be no issues, therefore. I very much look forward to meeting my brother. Sincerely, Mr. Bowerstone.
Okay. And she kind of accepts it, kind of folds it, and says, "Okay, we'll get it to him shortly. If there's not anything else, there's a bit of commotion going on around the city, and I need to tend to something else." So.
Commotion around the city? Is everything okay?
You walked here. You saw the spirit wardens of Con.
Very much. Yes. Does this affect Norfolk at all? Are you alright?
Only we just need to confirm that our assets are in place and perfectly safe, and that our employees work. So if you'll excuse me, and she begins to kind of move off.
Of course.
And what you notice as you all this is going on, that the rest of the building is incredibly silent, almost as if it's empty.
I wish I had bombs on me. Anyway, I think taking that into note, I'm going to leave and regroup with everyone else.
Okay. And so we find all of you reunited at OC's establishment, and a note comes in very shortly that Phillips will attend. He will be an hour later than you specified, but he will be in attendance as per your request. And he looks forward to completing your deal.
I flick it over to Sean. See, you have an extra hour up your sleeve.
Well then, I guess all we have to do is wait here.
Should I, bound and gag you? Give you the real dramatic flair?
No.
Careful, Mr. Bowerstone. You forget what Nyx is about.
That is true.
I can do it myself.
Do you like to... No.
You have a big trunk. He says, yeah, so I guess all we have to do is wait here for an hour. Steam, you're used to setting up ambushes and slaughtering people before they know you're even there. What, any thoughts, recommendations? I want Phillips. Everyone else is fair game.
He will understand that this is a trap.
Oh, of course, I would assume as much.
Whatever forces he has, even if he does arrive, he will send against us. They want you, Mr. Desterosi.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they know the way through the tunnel, as we've previously seen.
Yep.
Do you have another secret room? OC.
I have a safe room. Locks from the inside. That's it.
Could I take him there?
May I ask why? I'm curious.
So I can kill him most brutally, away from all of his men. It's
You don't want them to
inconvenient-
watch.
It's inconvenient to torture people while their friends are trying to kill you.
Fine, but I wouldn't recommend sitting on the couch.
Gross. I don't like that at all. I'll put him on it. Is there a chair that I could tie him to?
That's a different room.
Is there a room that I can tie him up in that no one can access?
Yes.
Then I'll use that one. I believe we have a plan. And he just sits down and, like, on the bar stool, one of the bloody bar stools, and just sits and reclines on the bar.
I don't think we have a plan. I think you have a room for your activities.
I think that we need a better plan.
Okay. I thought we would wait here. They would rush in. We'd kill them, capture Phillips, take him to the room.
We are confident that we can kill the entirety of Northhook's force.
I mean, we did just kill several dozen of them.
I mean, we are pretty good.
I don't think he's coming. This is just based on they ambushed. People do his dirty work, and he doesn't fight fair. He kills innocent people doing whatever he wishes. I don't think he's coming. I think I dress up as you, as bait, and you wait outside across the street and see if he's even coming in.
I have another idea.
Oh, I have many ideas as well. None of them good, but I have ideas.
Is this what it's like being you?
She'll patronizingly pat you on the head.
This is great. This must be what the other side of the table feels like. Go on, let me hear your ideas. I like this game.
You act like you've done all this. You're on your own. If you were on your own, children.
On our way here, we saw that the spirit wardens have gone completely insane and apparently are hooking anybody that they can catch. They are powerful adversaries. If we could wrangle up 4 or 5 of them, lead them to wherever Phillips is holed up, or if he brings a force against us, just drop them in his mists.
I think if we kill one, the rest will follow. We don't need to wrangle them. They can't resist a fresh corpse.
There are plenty now. They seem to be making their own.
Yes, but I don't think they're used to... One's not created by them.
Ask your sisters. Perhaps they know how to summon all of them.
Yes, the hulls are a new...
Must be asking them.
The hulls are a new addition.
Could I have any control over these holes? These wardens?
Could you have any control over these wardens?
Is there a way to be sort of a beacon? I want to be bait. I want to be a beacon for, like, a glowing beacon for these guys.
You want to be a glowing beacon specifically for the spirit wardens?
Mm-hmm. Or make someone, Bowerstone.
Okay, that's different than can you control these things? Which would you want to start the conversation with? Because the conversation could go two completely different ways.
Can I control them in a certain vicinity? Not all at the same time, but enough if they were close enough.
And then could you make Phillips the beacon?
That's a secondary question. One at a time.
Sure. I'm just throwing it out there.
Write them down. I'll read them off.
Okay.
So can I get them? Can I control them and have them wait here as an ambush point and control them?
Why would you want to control those monstrosities?
Because you see
mechanisms of the Emperor.
Because right now we have, I wouldn't say bad odds, given our history. But I'd like to increase our odds. And these things are out killing regardless. I want an army.
You have an army inside of you.
That's why I'm asking for help.
And you don't need them. Look deep. Remember. Serve the sisters, and the world is yours.
She has a moment where she remembers a pet she once had when she was young. That she left when she left home. And he's sitting next to her. And she smiles.
And it is the ghost spiritual image of that made physical. But it is not the exact same cute pet that you had. It is the spectral image of it.
She smiles, reaches down, pets her dog, and looks back to the group. We don't need them. You wanted me to be sure of myself? You wanted me to be in control? I'm so much more now. Let me prove it.
I'll be honest, I have no idea what you're going about, but if you think that you can take on the Northhook by yourself, then I'm all for it.
Shall I be you?
If you think you can.
I'm going to put it as part of my loadout, that I am in disguise as Nyx. Give me your shirt. You can have Bowerstones, and she'll take it off and hand it over.
This is Bowerstones.
It's
That
all
is
mine.
Bowerstones.
Yeah, it's you.
She'll hand it back in trade. She'll just...
It's got really weird, guys. First it was makeup, and now it's like couture.
I'm
What's
not going
next?
to die in my own
Shoes?
clothes. That's ridiculous. They'll get disgusting.
We have some working men's clothes in the back as spares, if you prefer. They're clean.
Takes the should have gone into the clothes.
They're cleaner than yours right now.
Listen. No.
The leather suspenders and nipple dishes.
Ooh, in that case.
So do I have to roll for my disguise?
No.
Okay.
Cool, so Nyx is going to help her nix it up and disguise
She's
her
ignoring you and
flaming
she's got
red
it.
hair.
Yeah, she's got it. It's a little uncomfortable because she is so closely mirroring your look and mannerisms. And the fact that she was doing it naturally it gives you pause about what's truly inside her.
Does it?
It does.
Takes some of the makeup from the back and starts greasing her hair back and getting it literally spitting image at this point.
This could get weird.
Can she do the accent?
And I sound like a douchebag. Yes.
She's nailed it.
You didn't take
My
your
God.
voice at all. Yeah.
She can't grow balls, guys. She has a lot of powers, but she can't grow testicles.
I have one question. I have one question for Nyx. Are you strangely attracted to
I
yourself?
was going to say he's never been this turned on.
Yeah. That's why I said this could get weird.
Give us an hour. We have an hour before he arrives. Everybody out.
Now, can you watch and participate at the same time? Because that would be interesting.
Get out of my sight.
You mean my
All right. So to kind of speed this along a little bit, the plan is that OC is going to propose his Nyx.
Mm-hmm.
Bowerstone is going to greet Phillips, and where are Nyx, the real Nyx, the flesh and blood Nyx, and Steam going to be? And what are you going to be doing?
I assume there's not Nyx. Steam climbed and jumped off a building to stab people in the face a day ago in this location, so I assume there's other buildings that we can have vantage point from and watch this place.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those.
All right.
Is anyone injured in our party?
No, I'm fine.
We're about to.
No one has harm?
Nope.
No one probably has stress either at this point.
I thought Mr. Bowerstone did. That's why I asked.
Steam's going to position himself at the entrance to the secret tunnel that comes up into the bottom of the Silk Shore establishment. Nyx, if you want to get topside, I'll get underneath.
Ooh.
Yes,
And
yes, I have a
Bowerstone right in the
bruised
middle.
abdomen. I'm always the villain.
You live with a slightly bruised abdomen. So yeah, Nyx is going to get in one of the buildings, not the top floor, but like middle floor, so he can see the entrance. Like I said, Steam's in the basement, OC is Nyx, and Bowerstone is with OC Nyx.
So time passes, and Phillips does arrive in a carriage, escorted by two what look to be gentlemen of action. It's probably the best description, carrying swords on their backs, and pistols on both hips. For both of them, they are clearly bodyguards of some kind. And with them, they carry in a small case. And they walk in to the door, just expecting it to be open. And what do they find when they walk inside?
I've put makeup on my face to make it look like I have like a puffed up eye, like he's beaten me to subdue me. And I'm sitting against with like just leaning, sitting on my feet, with bound hands.
Okay. How do they find you, Bowerstone?
Yeah, sitting at the bar with a lovely drink and just watching OC or X. And as soon as he walks in, oh, I heard it's chaos out there.
A bit. But I see that a deal is a deal. So he begins to approach you and extend his hand. And he says, as promised, we will finish this little business and you may go on your merry way. And he passes over the case and he says, as per my part of the bargain. And he turns back around.
The hell is this?
Starts to walk towards not Nyx.
She's going to and spit blood, red substance, out of her mouth onto the floor when he walks near her,
Okay.
playing it up.
What is Bowerstone doing right now?
So he knows what's in the case, but he's gonna.
Does he know what's in the case?
Well, I'm guaranteeing it's the bottle, the vial of his brother. That's what I'm gonna assume. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna flick it open and just peek under it, seeing if it is that.
So you pop each of the latches, right?
Yep.
And you kind of begin to lift it. And you don't immediately see a spirit bottle. You see something white in there. Kind of off color, a little odd. And as you begin to lift it a little bit more, you realize that it is the forearm, skeletal bone of a young child. And as you kind of lift it all the way, inside are the skeletal remains of your brother. And off to the back in the corner of the thing, into the case, where the bones are laid on beautiful black velvet, there is a small spirit bottle that you can see that contains a spirit.
Give him points for presentation. I'm gonna close it back down, just lock it up, and then I'm gonna make my way behind the bar. But that's so to obscure my lower half.
Okay. Phillips turns to Nyx, not Nyx, and says, so, we finally catch up with the last rat in that terrible ordeal. We see rats escape from sinking ships all the time.
I'm not a rat. She mumbles low enough, so he has to come closer.
I'm sorry, what was that? And he leans in.
And she starts like, coughing like he's hurt her throat or something.
Bowerstone, get your friend a drink. It looks like he's having problems with his throat.
Yeah, to be quite honest, I thought he'd put up much more of a fight. Awfully weak.
She
Bring it over.
lowers her eyes and looks up to Bowerstone and then back down in shame.
He brings over a bucket of water and just a small cup.
Wait, say that again?
He's gonna, because last time, if I remember, OC, you said there was like buckets of water, so he's gonna bring one of those, Just slump it down next and drop the cup in the water.
Her hands are bound, so she's struggling, and she reaches her hands out to him. Not to Bowerstone.
Mhm.
For him to help her with the cup.
Phillips?
Mm-hmm. She's still looking down.
Yeah, that's not my thing. Bowerstone, help him. And he steps back a little bit. He's beginning to suspect something.
He kneels down, scoop it up, and there will only be a little bit of liquid in the cup, and presses it to Nix's lips.
You're kind of a dick about this.
She takes it and spits it in his face, in Bowerstone's face.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I didn't have an agreement with Mr. Phillips, Nix, I would have killed you. Phillips, we have our agreement. If you wish to do something, do it here and now. Otherwise, I say we call this an accord.
He says, all right, fine. Pulls out. I just have one question, Mr. Destarosi.
So while he's talking, she is going to use her superhuman feat to rush him and transpowder him before he can blink.
Superhuman speed. Are you
Yep.
talking about Devil's Footsteps?
Yes. Sorry, I have everything in the playbook right now. I don't know what they're all called.
That's why I'm asking.
Yes. She's gonna bum rush him.
Roll it.
All right. I don't know where we should. So what is that? Skirmish? Finesse? I can use my highest thing without taking a stress anyway. Can I just do that with skirmish?
Yes. And the situation is going to be risky.
Okay.
The position is going to be risky. The effect is definitely going to be great, though.
Okay. I think I have to scroll forever. Can I just ask? I think I have a position to make it controlled.
I believe you do.
Okay. So I'm going to make it controlled. Actually, I'm going to use my crit. Fuck this.
Okay.
I have 2 of them, right?
Let's scroll back. You have
I'm saving one for something special.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to crit and rush him. And she had it in between her hands, which is why her hands are bound.
And he
Go to the room down the hall. You'll know. Down the stairs, first door on the left. She's talking about the one that Nix is waiting in.
Do you say that in your voice or in his voice?
In his voice, still.
Okay. As he begins to do that, the two immediately move forward, guns drawn, and begin to fire at you.
Okay. Her hands weren't bound. They were just tied, so she just slips.
Okay.
And then we'll duck behind the bar and pull her swords out.
All right.
She's going to roll behind the bar.
Okay. So
To
they're
dodge.
firing at you as that's happening. So
Mhm.
you're going to need to roll me a finesse roll to get behind the bar
Okay.
without getting hit. Otherwise, you're going to have to roll a resistance for level 2 harm.
Risky. And
Yeah, this is definitely risky. You're not necessarily in death story yet, so
would you say limited?
I'd say standard. There's a couple things that could happen here.
Well, we're going to find out if I get shot or not. 3s.
Okay. Do you want to resist level 2 harm from
Yep.
one of the shots hitting you?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's 1
So-
stress, right? 2?
Well, it's 6 stress minus
Okay.
6 stress minus whatever you roll for the resistance.
Okay.
So I believe that let's see, what is your
Resolve?
no, not resolve, it would be prowess?
Prowess? Okay.
Hold on just a second, let me double check that. It's been a while since we've had anybody roll resist. Hold on.
Yeah, be prowess.
Would it be prowess? Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm assuming no bonus die.
Yes.
5.
Okay, so you only take 1 stress, and one of the bullets grazes you just across your arm, and so that's just, level 1 harm grazed.
Okay.
And I am activating. Where is it? It's one of these things. Mastermind? Mastermind. I'm activating Mastermind, and my special armor ticks, and the bullet grazes her shirt, and underneath it you see that she's wearing armor.
Okay.
So you take no harm.
Okay. She's going to, once she gets behind the bar and she hears a few shots, she's going to jump up on the bar and throw her disguise off. And when I do that, it's misdirection +1 roll to confuse. And I'm going to dive at them, lunge at them with my sword out.
Okay, but you do that in full view of Phillips, right? As you kind of drop your disguise?
No, he's gone. I told him to immediately head out of the room.
They're starting to grab him as they're shooting, so he's not immediately out of the room. You're going this way, they're grabbing him as they're shooting. So
if they're doing that, then I better step in.
Okay.
I will wait then. I will wait then. I thought he had left the room. I didn't hear that he was grabbed. I'm just going to dive at them with my swords then.
Okay. They're going to continue to fire at you, so you can either resist another shot or you can attack them and potentially get harmed.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Does reflexes do anything for who reacts first?
It does, but in this particular case, these are quite skilled. So there's a level of equality in respect to the type of fighting that's going on here. So if you roll an attack and you fail and you get a consequence, that's when there's going to be a hit on you. That's when the harm's going to get you. If you succeed, you are going to attack them and their bullets are going to not hit you, essentially.
Okay. So you need me to roll resist or skirmish?
I need you to roll whether you're attacking or whether you're resisting the attack.
I'm just going to attack. She's going right through it. She doesn't care.
All right, sounds good. All right, so...
So, risky?
Sure.
And then standard, I'm assuming?
Well, you're jumping over and kind of catching them off guard, so I think it almost borders on great.
Okay. 6.
Okay, so you describe to me what happens as you come over, as they're trying to hold Phillips back, and they're trying to shoot at you. How you attack them? What happens as you attack them?
She's going to try to get behind them, while she dives. So she's just going to go for that side, kind of like Kill Bill style, when they're flying through the air, and just slice at the one that's not holding him, the one that's farther from him, towards the bar.
Okay, and so are you aiming anywhere particular?
I mean, she would aim for the throat. She usually does. But if she can't hit that, she would hit the chest or his arm to be able to clean slice.
All right, you nick him and blood flies everywhere. You nick him in his artery and he begins to kind of fall. And, the blood is flying everywhere as the artery is starting to gush, but he gets one final shot off at you.
Okay.
And so that shot just kind of angles towards you and then kind of ricochets off as he misses. The second one is kind of like, oh shit, and lets go of Phillips and pulls out the second gun and starts firing both barrels. So you're going to need to roll a resist now as bullets are flying at you.
Okay, same as before.
I'm sorry, what?
Steam would have heard all that, so he should be on his way. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have body armor. Can I use that if I get hit? Special armor.
I believe you used Nyx's body armor, right? In this particular case?
I guess.
His mastermind ability. If
His
she's got
ability. So you have a separate mastermind ability that will give you that body armor once.
Okay. If I get hit, I'll use it.
Right, okay.
Okay.
And so go ahead and do you want to just use that instead of do you want to use that instead?
I'm going to use it regardless if.
Okay, so then it just absorbs the damage.
Mm-hmm.
And you're now have an opportunity to make an attack.
Yeah, she's going for the throat again.
All right, roll it. So it's going to be risky, and I think the situation is going to be limited because it's basically a cold shot at this point.
Okay. 5.
Okay, so you come in, blade coming in again, kind of slices at you, and the artery begins to kind of spurt, but just as a a last kind of ditch, he begins to fire at you and starts one of the bullets kind of catches one of your swords and it kind of knocks it out of your hand, leaving with you kind of a little bit of a pain in your hand because of the way that it hit it, right? So it kind of knocks it out, but he falls just kind of at your feet as Phillips just kind of makes his way back, and you hear no other commotion or nobody else is moving. So
she's going to take once he's out of the room, she'll take off her disguise and look to Bowerstone. Helpful as always. Watch the door.
I knew you had it.
The door. There might be more coming. Bar it. And then she's patting herself down and she grabs that bucket and just all of it. And you see the black makeup from her hair just running down.
Okay.
She's just waiting for Steam to come running in because he heard gunshots and he's, a little panicky.
He walks in because he realizes there's no other threats. But he goes over to Phillips, who's entranced, right? He's ensorcelled.
He's not in the room we're in.
He's okay. Well, he's here though, right? Phillips is on premises still.
Yep.
He goes in and he rips his shirt open and starts inspecting him.
For?
It's not him. He's not coming here with two people. The family of Northhook, something's up. He's looking for any signs of anything off, both in the field and out.
Then roll a 2.
You could just ask the Dimmer sisters to help.
Fuck them.
We literally have a walking, talking Wikipedia.
I prefer asking myself. Controlled.
It's on Wikipedia.
Effect, standard, limited, great.
Standard, because there's a fair bit going on here, but not something extreme.
No bonus dice, correct?
Do you want to push yourself, take a devil's bargain?
Nah.
I didn't think so.
6.
Okay. The person in front of you is definitely entranced in some way. And there appears to be some sort of spectral thread as a link, kind of tying him someplace else, and you can follow it back. But looking at him as a person, this person believes that he's
Phillips. Right.
Right. But you are able to see that there is some foul demon magic going on here.
Okay. Immediately what Steam does is Steam wraps the head of, he fills the packs the ears of this person, wraps cloth around the eyes, and opens the front door and signals Nix. You're across the street, right? Isn't that where Nix was? He immediately waves for Nix.
Okay.
Nix kind of peeks through the blinds when he sees him step out, and if there's no one else in the street or kind of around, he'll come downstairs and walk across to the establishment.
As soon as yes, Attune, this is not him. Just as they sent the sashes against the crow's nest. These are the dark.
Let me see here.
Are you guys doing this in the room that I'm in?
Yes.
If you want him to think that you're dead, do we not kill you in front of this man?
They'll know.
What? No, I don't want them to think I'm dead. I want them to kill me. After I kill Phillips.
They've already seen everything that's occurred here.
Yep. If you want that link fresh, you better do it now.
Can you see it?
Can Nick see it?
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Shall
Anybody
we?
who attends can see it.
We must hunt now.
I have a feeling we don't even have to hunt that very far. I believe they're exactly where they ought to be. At the Norfolk Company. At the docks.
Well, I went there. It was awfully quiet.
Yes. not surprised.
Instead of speculating, why don't we follow?
Johnny, what direction does it lead into?
The docks.
Steam turns to Bowerstone. The mark is still in his hand, correct? His arm?
Oh, yeah.
Prepare, my friend.
He's just going to grab the briefcase and put it under the bar at OC's. I'm coming back for that later.
What is that?
His end of the bargain.
I'm sorry.
You did not fulfill your end of the bargain, Raymond.
We'll deal with that later.
He is bringing him to him.
It doesn't count now.
Mistakes were made.
No, it still counts, or Raymond would be in excruciating pain right now and twitching on the floor. So you still have a chance.
He didn't deliver anything.
That's right. That's not your brother.
And also, that's not him delivering it.
Just going to take the briefcase back and just... They all look the same.
Can I attune to see anything left over on that, to see if it's related to Bowerstone?
Is there some way you can actually soul relate it to someone?
Can I just, like, CSI pull out one of those kits and start dusting it?
So anybody who's in the ghost field and listening will hear a child crying from the bottle.
Was it a child?
This could be one of two things. It is not your brother, and you're okay. It is your brother, and prepare for excruciating fucking pain.
Let's get there before the second.
Seems time's wasting here. Let's just go.
Shall we?
We're headed out. OC has grabbed another shirt from behind the bar.
So as you step out the door, Raymond takes level 3 harm. Cursed.
As a physiker, can I help him?
Not yet,
Okay.
because across the street, you see the actual Phillips with a much larger group paying attention.
OC waves.
And the 50 soldiers behind him begins to pull out their weapons and take aim. As you begin to see 50 rifles being cocked and pointed in your direction as Raymond is writhing on the floor.
Steam starts walking towards them.
Good evening, Mr. Phillips. Appears as though a deal was arranged here. The alderman, who is you have currently crippled on the ground. That's not going to look well in the city council, but you have come for me. What could I do for you of the Northwood Company?
Mr. Desterosi, it's nice to finally meet you.
Is it, though?
It is. You were the last of a troublesome group of individuals.
We each conduct our business differently.
Business has been booming since your family has been dead. I assumed that you were dead as well.
You also have seemed to pick up several more of my talents, and he begins rolling up his sleeves. I see that you have taken to contracting. Interesting.
Business is as business does. As you can see, mine is gone. But I believe it left a mark on your friend who chose to betray me. I knew he would. Puppets usually do, when they get bold.
Yes, it's not the first, and it's not going to be the last. But what can I do for you? You seem to be excited to get your hands on me. There must be something you'd like.
You can die, Mr. Desterosi.
That's been played out. It's been played out. Death here in Duskfall isn't the last step. What good would that do you?
It would seal a debt that I, and he points to the other side, I owe.
Oh. Interesting.
Your family made a lot of enemies.
Yes.
I rose to power on the backs of their death. Specifically because I was asked to in exchange.
Johnny, do me a favor. Set the scene here. Are we in like a street with buildings on either side? Where are we?
You're in a four-way street.
Like an old western kind of.
Oh yes, absolutely. Okay. But there are 50 men behind him pointing rifles at you.
He says, "Well, I must admit that I thought this was going to be a one-on-one exchange. I came here to speak to you, but you seem to bring so many friends."
I tried it the simple way.
Did you? You sent a puppet.
I did.
To deal with a puppet.
That's why. Exactly.
You could just come to me, man on man. This would be so much easier. But you brought so many. Are you afraid, Mr. Phillips?
No, I'm just guaranteeing. I had to hunt the rest of your family down for years. You didn't know that, though, did you?
Guaranteeing? Well...
We hunted members of your flotilla for years.
Like to guarantee things.
And
at that, Johnny, I'm going to take stress, and he brings his hands out and claps and says, "Boys!" And the doors flood open, and I punch my microphone. Sorry, chat. The doors flood open, and all of the gray cloaks, all of the stone cloaks emerge from the surrounding buildings.
Behind them.
He says, "Well, shall we have a one-on-one, Mr. Phillips?"
And the shots go off.
And he dives back into the establishment.
Okay.
Go ahead, Steam.
Do you want me to describe what they see, or...
No, you're going to describe the scene because things are going to change based on your action.
As the stone cloaks come out, Steam is standing beside Nyx with the rest of the Shroud. And as the shots begin to go through the air, as the rifles all pull up and they're primed and ready to go, everything stops. Steam calmly walks forward and slits the throat of the 50 men that are with Phillips. He then goes back to the stone cloaks and pushes each rifle or each pistol into the air. He takes Phillips, walks him forward, plops him directly in front of Nyx, and lets time start again.
So, beautiful as that was, Nyx is still going to have to roll a resistance as all of these bullets begin to pelt Phillips's body. Because not all shots were perfect and aimed in one place. Some were ricocheting off a little bit of the body. So, Nyx, roll a resistance.
So I have one question before I roll resistance.
No. The answer is no.
So since we're all attuned from trailing the puppet string, does Phillips look different? Or does he look like a man covered in...
He looks like a man.
Covered in contracts. Okay.
No. He's not covered in contracts.
Just the one.
There's only one.
Interesting. In that case, I spend my crit. And I grab him to the ground.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. These bullets all kind of pelt in, hitting the body. Nyx uses that and just kind of rolls with it to the ground as the rest of them kind of pelt the back of OC, or the front of OC's establishment. As the rest of you see 50 bodies that were just standing and shooting all drop at the same time. Stonecloaks are like, what the hell was that? What's going on? OC, you see all this happen, and you see a little bit of a trick of a smile on Steam's face. You start to wonder just a little bit, would he technically win this time? As you notice that Raymond is still on the ground, writhing in pain from this apparent curse that he's experiencing. Now, Raymond, first things first. This is a level 3 harm, but you can resist it.
I have something where if I command him, he doesn't fall under level 3 harm. And I did tell him to bar the door right before we left, so I did technically command him.
Okay, so wait a minute.
Or can I command him to get up? Can I command him to get up?
He's in intense pain right now because the contract broke. The magic binding to the contract broke. You might be able to help him solve that, but right now this is Raymond's moment of writhing in pain as he begins to try to resist, and then you can assess the situation after that. Now.
Oh, I'm going to resist.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, I think this is a resolve because it's essentially, spectral energy that's kind of like causing you problems here. So whatever you've got in resolve seems to make sense, unless anybody wants to make an argument as to why it might be something else.
No, I agree.
Resolve sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
6.
Wow. Okay. So you are not paralyzed in blinding pain at level 3 harm. You are experiencing level 2 harm right now, which is this intense, overwhelming ache that makes it incredibly difficult for you to move. And there is this, it feels like your nerves are on fire, but at least you're able to kind of, like, your sheer resistance, your sheer will to just, to do this, you're able to kind of stand up.
Oh, that hurts like a bitch.
Anybody who's attuned can see that the spectral energy that was the contract is on fire, like a bluish fire around his body. And you can see that he's just essentially in immense pain.
If I attune, is there anything that I can do for him?
Attuning is not going to be the way to solve this.
No, I mean, I can see it because I'm attuned. Is there anything that I would know or the sisters would know to help him?
Steam goes over and I'm sorry, I'm going to try something real quick. Steam goes over, picks Bowerstone up off the ground and throws an arm over Steam's shoulder. He walks forward. He gets Nyx, brings Nyx up, and Phillips is still there, right? He's
on the ground. Nyx is on the ground with Phillips.
He pulls them both up, and he takes Bowerstone's own hand, puts it on the collar of Nyx's shirt, and says, "Present your prey to Mr. Phillips."
As promised, here is Nyx Destarosi. In exchange for my brother. Bastard. Oh.
And the pain disappears immediately. But you will keep a level 1 harm of exhaustion for a short time. It'll be a temporary effect.
I'm not cut out for this shit.
Mr. Destarosi, your friend.
Yes. Good. And he stands in front of Mr. Phillips. He kind of looks looks over to the exhausted Bowerstone and says, "If all things go as planned, you won't have to, but you do get used to it." And he reaches in and grabs Mr. Phillips by the collar and says, "And we have some words." And he thrusts his forehead into his nose and just shatters it, and then begins dragging him into OC's establishment.
You do realize that given the amount of bullets that went into Philip's body, he's dead, right?
Please tell me he doesn't know and he's just talking to a corpse.
Was that not what the resist roll was for?
The resist roll was for you to resist getting hit by any of the extra bullets that were going in. I am sorry if I did not make that clear.
Yeah, I thought it was to grab him out of the way.
No.
Oh.
It was to resist any of the bullets going in.
Can you please still say it though? Like you're still gonna go beat his lifeless corpse?
I also wouldn't have spent that crit either.
Wait a minute, hold on a sec. Do you have Ghost Fighter?
I don't.
fight his goddamn spirit. I can fight his spirit for you. I volunteer stream you. I volunteer stream you. You can watch. It's what you get off on.
I would not have spent that crit.
Okay, well, you can take that crit back and roll it if you really want to. Or actually, you don't even have to roll it at this point. Season 3, fuck it. You did that situation. And
no, that's fine.
No, that's legitimately where it was going. If Steam basically enacted one of his abilities that he just gained from, the jackass who's been like poking and prodding at him this entire time, but it does have a consequence, which is, and in this particular case, it's that Phillips was never going to survive that circumstance.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Sorry.
So I'm just gonna push as a GM a little bit and say, what is dead may never die. He's still in there.
Please let me fight him. I'm gonna kick that spirit's ass. He's gonna have like 800 dead women's hands on him.
I think technically you would win.
Actually, so the moment he realizes that this guy has died, so basically when Steam picks him up,
right,
he looks to OC, who I assume is just sort of standing nearby, and he grabs this guy by the back of his collar and throws him at OC's feet and says, "You brought him back to life. Now bring him back to life."
He didn't have bullet wounds.
There's a little trickle in the back of OC's mind that she can do this really neat thing. Does she want to do it before I tell you what it is?
Or do you want to tell me what it is?
No, I just want to know if you...
Am I going to suffer anything from it? Is it going to cost anything?
No, it's a beautiful thing.
Just for funsies? All right, yeah. Funsies. Let's go.
You throw the body in front of OC. OC makes her observation about the bullets. She then reaches down at the nape of his neck and rips his spirit out of his body and just kind of holds it there in front of you.
He kind of looks to her and says, "What good is that?"
This is all I've got.
This was a waste.
If you like to trap him in a bottle, you could throw him in another body at another time and kill him all over again, and over again, and over again.
Over again.
No.
You could have an eternity of this.
Bind him to the ritual like everyone else. This was a waste. Let's go.
So ungrateful.
The spirit begins to kind of wake up and starts to have gibberish come out of its mouth as it's expressing itself, learning to adapt to its new form.
Is there anyone walking by on the street that's not a Stonecloak? Is there anyone around?
No. After the commotion of the firing, just the shots fired.
She's going to put him on the ground and hold him down and beat him as a spirit in front of Nyx. She's just looking at Nyx, smiling. Okay. She's a fucking crazy person now.
More salt in the wound.
She's holding him with her hand attuned, and she's just beating him.
Yeah, Nyx just kind of watches, and you can see that he looks completely unfulfilled. And he says, "Well, now I need to find another way to die."
Is there a way to spark life back into the body? Or no?
You could definitely insert the spirit back into the body if you wanted to try. However, again, you pointed it out. It was riddled with holes. It's not going to function as a normal body would.
Okay. She's going to, after beating it a little bit, get bored and try to shove it back into the body, and then pull some of the bullets out as she would with her physical ability, and then try to give it that jolt. But harder this time.
You spend a lot of time doing that, but it just never takes. It never... I mean, the guy had some 30-plus bullets inside of his body, and the blood had basically drained out of his body at this point.
She's going to do one last thing, and then she'll shut up because this is not the OC show. She's going to pull the spirit back out, disappointed, with her hand down at her side. You, looking at one of the soldiers. Report.
The stone cloaks?
Report. The rest of you, go back and protect the bar.
No, see,
Yes.
no,
No.
it's done.
It's done.
I am doing this either way.
Then you do it for you.
And the stone cloak walks up hesitantly as he begins to hear this exchange, and you can see that there's a lot of fear, and it's loyalty that keeps him there for the moment.
She's holding it. What am I to do with this?
I told you. Bind it to the ritual.
No.
That's of no use to me.
Now you're just pouting. And she just pushes it away. As you were. Back to him. Follow the rest of the
And
group.
the soldier moves fucking... He just about faces and turns and runs very quickly away from OC. Very concerned about what was about to happen.
She says, I've helped you. You have to die, they have to take you. I have my own things to worry about.
Mr.
And then
Destarosi,
she leaves.
how do we kill you now?
Well, Steam, we had an idea of a grand plan, and that seems to be nigh impossible now, but I guess any old way does the trick. As long as you have that bottle, you get it back to the library.
Skurlock does not need to take you to the library, does he?
No, he would just come to collect that bottle. If he doesn't, that is where you come in. Either way, if you take me there, it saves him a trip.
Is there anyone left in Northhook? Is your debt to your family fulfilled?
Johnny, would I know if there's anyone left in Northwick?
Know how? What?
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think so. I didn't do a lot of research into the company itself. Just knew that guy was the head of it.
I could do a flashback and have the soldiers go kill anyone that's in that house, in that base.
Raymond would know.
I mean, it was quiet. I didn't exactly go around and do a huge layout and scope of the area.
Raymond's parents would know.
Dad!
Daddy? Papa?
Father? What did you see in Northhook, Father?
It was hustling and bustling when your father was there. And he reported back to Steam that your brother was dead.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, his parents would know whether or not there's additional Phillips people, correct?
Oh, there's an entire family. That was mentioned to Raymond as a part of the conversation that he had when he made the contract.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence if I tell anyone else.
Well, there would be an heir, correct?
Oh, there would be more than an heir. It would be, one of the big families. I mean, they would be on the level of, noble family in respect to the amount of, members of the family, sycophants that were around them, servants, that kind of a thing. It would be a big household because they are the top merchant in across Akarosi.
Mr. Destarosi, as they attempted to end your flotilla, but did not because of you. You could succeed where they failed. End the Northhook for good. Perhaps this was a blessing.
It has a kind of poetic justice to it, Steam.
I like the idea.
Raymond,
How
where
would
can
you-
I find the Phillips household?
If I tell you this, you have to make me one promise. You gut every single one of them for what they've done to us.
No.
No.
No, I will not. I am as violent a man as any of us. And he kind of looks to Steam. He says, I do have morals, Alderman. I will not kill children.
They brought my brother in a fucking bag.
I am a better man than Phillips in every way. I will not kill children.
I have a suggestion.
I'm all ears.
What is it?
The children, as long as they are uncorrupted by the stink of North Hook. I have children as well. They could learn another way.
Yes,
And the family still ends.
I have no issue giving the children to you. I just won't kill them. Hell, if I leave the house and you come in and kill them, that's also fine.
Yeah.
My morals only extend to me.
Bowerstone should be able to kill children.
I will.
So,
We're gonna roll on that though.
so Steam, if you'd like to add to your brood, they're all yours.
I have all these crits saved up. If I have to use them on children, I will.
The finale of the Shroud. Children killers.
Yeah.
That would be a stronger, nastier affair than
Easy there, Anakin.
Joff.
Don't you relax?
Joff,
Exactly what I was thinking.
Joff punching a child. This could get interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
Master Alderman, there's too many of them. What are we going to do?
So, Raymond, where is this household? Where can I find them?
You know, I'll write down the address for him and be like, I'm
So
gonna
it's in
give
Brightstone.
you-
It would the estate would be in Brightstone, and that's where he would know because Raymond would actually have some general awareness of it because of the noble family, etc., etc.
I'm going to go with you. You get a head start.
Should anyone go with him?
Raymond, you weren't going to have a choice. In fact, missives were sent out that you were making a march on the Northhook family because they were engaging in corporate espionage and trying to overthrow government facilities. So, what I think is going to happen is you're going to march down the main street with all of the grey Stonecloaks, or whatever the hell they're called these days. And I will be disguised as one of them.
Stonecloaks.
Yeah.
Says what we're passing soldiers.
Yes. Past all the passing soldiers of the man who tried to kill you, tried to assassinate you, who was missing on an iron ship somewhere at the sea. There's your poetic
Such a
justice.
Flair of the dramatic. I like it.
Blame Steam. I was just going to run in and die.
You don't die yet. If we can't kill one Phillips, let's kill them all. Except the children.
Oh, see, if you'd like to come punch more ghosts, you're welcome to join us.
She's not there. She left already.
Oh, you left? Okay.
She was pissed that you didn't take her offer, so she left. She went and got Nye, and she's in a carriage off somewhere else.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's the plan, Johnny. We're going to grab the stone cloaks, and Nyx is going to dress up like one of them. He's going to wear a stone cloak, and then march down the main street of Whitecross.
Okay.
Or Brightstone, whatever that is. Is that what it is?
Brightstone.
All right. We're gonna cut to OC. Where did you leave Nye?
She was in the safe room. Not the one that he was in. The dungeon.
Okay.
She was actually in the safe room. I told her to lock herself in.
And where are you heading?
We are going to go to wherever the kids were sent.
Wherever the kids were sent.
Yeah.
The barge?
Was that where they were? I didn't remember where we put them.
Yeah, they're there with Gillis and 5 of my crows.
Yeah. She's going to go there.
Sorry, guys. I got a V that just all of a sudden decided to wake up. So if I have to jump away for just a second, I apologize. Yeah, it's at the barge that the children were with Gillis, and then some of the other crows were there, and there were some crows that were also being sent someplace else. I believe it was the leaky bucket.
They were split between the leaky bucket and the gallows respite.
So she's been training attuning with these kids. She wants to get them in a circle.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm listening. I just am allergic to bees, so.
Do you want a ruler?
Please don't die.
Please don't die, please don't die, please don't. No, seriously. So go ahead.
No, I was being serious. Yeah, she wants to sit in a circle with them, and these visions that the sisters gave her, this knowledge, this, not the way that it was given when she was, like back the old woman when she was in the house and she burned the house down. Those types of visions. Just snippets of information.
You want to transfer information to the children. What information do you want to transfer?
She's sitting there. I imagine she's sitting there and she's internally speaking to the sisters as the kids start sitting down and, are tuning and getting used to what we would normally do when we train. And she's talking to the sisters. If we are to have more, this is where we start. We teach them. So she joins hands.
Steam walks in.
And she does he? Because he's with.
I know where you are.
Okay, sure. So she's holding hands with the kids and attuning like she normally would. Yes.
What are you doing?
Would you like to join us?
No.
She looks at you.
These are not Dimmer sisters. These are Taikarosi.
I'm not asking them to be Dimmer sisters, and I don't want them to have the same goal as the sisters. I want them to have knowledge.
From the sisters.
From me.
From the sisters.
What I choose. From me.
From the sisters. You've already taught them as OC. Now you want to bestow additional knowledge? I don't think so.
You wouldn't have these kids at their maximum potential. To be real whispers. I am not brainwashing these children. I am teaching them. I don't want to be a part of... It's always about Nyx. It's always about his main goal, his end game. He's had his end game. I want to sit here and train them.
Training is one thing. You present a skill set, they learn it, they adapt it for their own. Insertion of knowledge. You speak of brainwashing. That is the textbook definition, OC.
So you judge me as the rest do, now that I have this knowledge?
Not at all.
Everything that I do is a plot, a ploy.
You did not ask me.
Benefit the sisters.
You did not ask me to enter the barge and train the children at this time.
So I am not your equal.
I am the guardian of these children, as you once said. I must take care of them, as you once said. I am fulfilling your wish, OC.
Children, I will not be back. Lessons are canceled for today. And as she walks past Steam to leave, to get nigh and walk out, they could have had more power than I've ever had, as a whisper.
They will.
Not with you as their leader. You're holding them back. But do as you wish. Your godhood. And she leaves.
So the children are untainted, but they were exposed to what she was beginning to teach them.
Yes.
And from there, OC, where do you go?
By the way, I was teaching them how to resurrect people.
I suspect that there would have been a little bit more than that.
She was going to start with that and work up to other things, yes.
Right. Totally.
But that's what they would have gotten from it because he came in immediately. From there, she's going to go From there, she's going to go to the Dimmer Sister estate.
Okay. And when you arrive at the Dimmer estate, you see something really strange. There is a echo of some kind happening under the tree. And as you get closer, as you go inside of the gates and onto the grounds, you see that it is an echo of the situation, of the ritual. It was so strong, it left an echo of what information was being transferred to you as the sisters were. And as you're kind of walking up, you see sort of the beginning of it as you're being put onto the stone, platform on top of the dais. As you kind of, lay down, and the first sister comes up, and off to the side, you see the echo of Steam and Nye in the body, and then you see Steam vanish as the transfer begins. And if you stand there long enough with Nye, you can watch her kind of get scared and wander off too. And you can watch the rest of it play out. And as it plays towards the end, last of the possessed bodies infuses you with the information, and you're just kind of left there alone as that body walks off, no longer possessed. And if you stick around long enough to watch, it starts up again.
Is there a way that I would know without asking the sisters, just based on things I've seen, to all the information that I have on what I've specifically asked them, only that knowledge, to capture it and trap it somewhere for someone else to relive?
The echo?
No, the knowledge of things that I've asked since I've changed.
The knowledge of everything that you've absorbed.
That, or just what I've asked, specifically asked to the Dimmer Sisters for.
So what's specifically in your conscience?
Like about Caius, and the things that I specifically asked about, how to kill them, the people that you'd have to kill.
There is a ritual that you could commit based on your memories. And you remember that probably the best place for you to do that, to find that actual information, there is a vault in the underground
of the estate.
Where you can walk down into the stone area, and there is it's basically a basement, and there is a private vault study kind of a situation set up there.
Yeah. It doesn't take the knowledge away from me, it just copies it, right?
It doesn't take the knowledge. No, you would find the information there. You know that's where that information, the ritual information, would lie.
No, I mean the knowledge. If I did the ritual, would I know if it would?
You only know that's possible, and you would need to go down there and actually to look at the book that it's in. The book that it's in. So
she's going to do that.
All right. So you find your way down, and you come to, essentially, it's a small underground basement area. It comes to a three-way. It basically comes to a four-way, branch, right? When you come into this point, because you step down through the crumbling steps of what was like sort of a wood stairway, leading into this lower level. But you're able to, gingerly kind of make it down there with Nye, and you come to this four-way, intersection. To the right of you is a very cold wind, and that leads to the roots and a pool, and essentially the center of where the actual spirit well is underground, that feeds the tree, and that was feeding all of the spirits that were there. To forward of you, straight ahead of you, is a room filled with stones and shaped stones in the same with the same essential stonework that is this structure, this underground structure was built with. And these are ancient stones from Aruvia, from before the time of the cataclysm, and they are infused with a very particular type of magic that protects anything that's down here from fire and weather and age, kind of a thing. And off to your left is the study filled with a room full of essentially books and artifacts that you can go to.
Okay.
So you go to that room.
Yep.
All right, you find yourself essentially at a double door, and there is this weird sort of glow just kind of emanating from under the room, and it's something that you notice in the ghost field, right? It's just ancient spectral energy kind of just overwhelming, and kind of just seeping out. And so you look at the lock and you realize that you don't have the key, but that there was a secret pattern that you can draw as a rune. And this is also ancient magic that you can just kind of trace on the door, and it opens for you. And you enter the room and you kind of assess it. And you, in your mind, immediately you know that there's a book there. There's a book that would give you the information. But as you kind of take in the rest of the room, you see that there's something wrong with a display of weapons towards the back that were artifacts, and that the central piece of this room, the central, essentially thing that was kept here, was a spirit bottle, an ancient Eruvian spirit bottle that is now missing.
Whose was that?
You can feel the presence of others that have been here incredibly recently.
Okay.
And when you think about that bottle, it is the trapped souls of some of the ones who were a part of the original ritual. The ones that the Zimmer sisters had been collecting for almost 900 years. The 26. That vial glowed a brilliant gold.
Well, fuck. She takes the book.
Okay.
And I'm going to attune to see if I recognize any of the trails left behind.
You don't really get a sense of who they were, other than there is something familiar about them in conjunction to Nye. As if there is some of the residual of these individuals, the spectral energy was also on Nye when you first got her back.
This is a problem from another day, sisters. Another day. We have enough issues.
Are screaming in your head about the spirit bottle being gone.
Yes, I'm upset too. I'm assuming you will help me.
They
What?
want you to go and find that bottle. They're screaming about the bottle. That they want you to focus all of your energy on finding the bottle.
I will. But if something were to happen to me, it could happen to you. Let me do this. I want this knowledge saved.
They are coming after you. They want you to go and execute on this. They don't care about the knowledge. They will persist. Their spirits released from your body, and they're having this conversation with you. They will be able to do again the ritual that they accomplished with you. You need to find the spirit bottle right now. That's what they're asking you to do. They're telling you to do.
If I had not come here for this book, I would not have known it was missing. Did you know it was missing?
No, and they want it back.
Yes, and I will. Everything is do now, do this, do that. I will do it.
The pain begins to be intense in your head as you can feel the collective will of the sisters begin to exert itself on your free will.
She's going to try and read the book quietly without thinking anything, without answering them, and just focus back on the book. What am I rolling? Resolve?
Yeah, resolve.
5.
Okay, so instead of taking level 2 harm disoriented. You are level 1 harm strained as they are trying to possess you. And they are actively fighting. And right now you've sort of backed them off, but you have a level 1 harm in dealing with this situation because it's a constant barrage in your head. But as you resist it, you open the book and begin to learn the ritual. And we're going to cut to Nyx and Bowerstone and Steam.
So we have a donation. Grant Ellis donates to create an NPC for an NPC that is a friend of Steam's called Grant Ellis.
Sure it's not Bad Boy Grant?
No, well, I mean, he could be a bad boy. We don't know. What you gonna do?
So Steam gets to include that in any way, shape, or form that he sees fit.
God damn it. So are we? So Johnny, you said where now?
I'm asking you. I don't know. Where are you? I mean, the last you were headed towards with the Stonecloaks to the Northhook, the Phillips family estate.
Yeah. I would assume it's like Bowerstone is kind of leading a charge, right? With the how many ever Stonecloaks a tier 4 plus crew is, or all in their gray cloaks, and in their ranks, Nyx is wearing one of the cloaks.
Okay.
No idea where Steam went. He just sort of disappeared. He said, "I'll be right back," and then he was gone. So yeah, we're walking down whatever street leads us to the Northhook family house.
Imperial March theme song going on.
Yeah. Is it as much madness here as it is in other parts of the city?
Oh yeah, except that the Bluecoats have a lot more lockdown, and you can see that some of the Imperial soldiers have been deployed with Imperial Whispers as a part of the squads as they're beginning to deal with it. The Whispers are doing the best that they can, and they're subduing more and more of the Spirit Wardens, yet the attacks are still going on.
Okay. And is anyone approaching or trying to stop us at all?
No. Not at this point, because they're too busy dealing with the Stonecloak, the Spirit Wardens at this point.
And the Stonecloaks are a recognizable force at this point, I would assume.
They are, but they are drawing looks because they are chartered to be working in Crow's Foot.
So I guess I'll toss it over to Bowerstone. How are you leading this charge to Northhook?
So, as I say, it's a straight push to the house, and when they get there, it is to be surrounded. Guns cocked and drawn and ready to fire. As he just
on the estate itself.
Yeah. As he calls out, "Everyone that is inside, get out now, by order of the alderman." He's just going to wait.
Nobody comes out because you're the alderman of Crow's Foot, not of Brightstone.
Oh well, I tried. And
I think that's his running platform. Oh well, I tried. I think that was his whole platform to get elected. Yeah, is there? So I mean, a large occupying force has surrounded a house. Has there been any kind of movement in the house? Is anyone shouting out there? Are there guards seeming to come out of nowhere?
No movement in the house.
Okay. Yeah. So as in Stonecloak garb, Nyx walks up to the door and knocks on the door.
Nobody answers.
And then he jiggles the handle and opens the door.
You're gonna have to pick the lock, but you do successfully. I'm not gonna have you do a check for it.
Sure.
You find that the house is unoccupied.
This is inconvenient.
Can I jump in real quick?
Sure.
I don't know. Can you?
At the barge, as soon as OC would leave and he needs to rejoin Bowerstone and Nyx, he will call over Gillis and he'll say, "Gillis, two things concern me. I want you to watch these children very closely, and I want you to take the barge away from the docks, just 50 yards or so. The other thing that concerns me is, shouldn't your name be pronounced Gillis It's Gellis. All this time I've been calling you Gillis. Shouldn't it be Gellis? Like a G? Ellis?
Subtle.
I apologize if it's been Gellis all along, but I just saw it written down. One of the children have been drawing, and it was G-E, and I've been calling you Gillis. I feel terrible about it, Gillis, but
Think nothing of it.
I want you to know that you're a very good friend of mine. In fact, I would confide in you in just about anything, and have been for several months now, and I feel like total shit for calling you the wrong thing. But it just struck me like the thunderbolt. So, Mr. G. Ellis, watch these children, my dear close personal friend.
With my life.
I must away.
All right, I just gotta. I'm sorry, I got a break scene right there. That was beautifully done. I can't.
Well played. Well played.
That was so good. Oh my god. All right, so we're gonna cut to from the barge as you see him put on a pair of mirror shade sunglasses, and we'll cut to Steam arriving at the Phillips estate.
I don't want to get in Nix's way here, but can I identify where the Phillips family is in Duskfall?
They're on an iron ship.
They're on an iron ship. Are they still in Duskfall?
In Duskfall, at the docks.
To the docks.
Yeah.
Do you take the entire Stonecloaks with you? Do you even share that with anybody? Or, I mean, is it...
Yeah, because I don't know how the docks are right now. The whole city is a crazy madhouse. So I think...
No, I'm actually specifically asking Steam here because Steam just enacted some of the things that he was granted by the man that he refers to as the judge.
I know where anyone is in the city of Dusk.
Well, it doesn't quite work out just the city of Dusk, but
I know where anybody is anywhere, anytime.
he just needs to know who he's thinking about.
And right now I'm thinking about my good friend G. Ellis and how I've wronged him for all of these months. It's weighing heavily on my soul. But I will keep it buried deep inside me and wear it stoically on my mask of white.
So do you appear at the Phillips estate?
Yeah, basically right when you guys realize it's empty, I'll just be beside you.
Yeah, so he like knocks on the door, opens it, and it's like no
I'm
one's
inside.
been there for a while. Yeah, it's like
They're at the docks.
that one was cool. I'll give you that.
I'm working on it.
He closes the door with you still in the house. He says, well, Alderman, I believe we have an appointment at the docks. If we could also go to Charter Hall and Char Hollow and every other district in the city, that would be tits. Let's go.
So you're marching the Stonecloaks, the Stonecloaks from from Brightstone to the docks.
Yeah, basically back where we just came from.
Okay, so no, you were in Silkshore before with the Stonecloaks.
Isn't that right next to the docks?
There's different ways through. You don't necessarily.
I
I always assume everybody goes through Crowsfoot, and then goes up through the center of the city in any way. But you're absolutely right. You could have gone through the docks. Just my preference. Anyways, as you are marching them back, the Imperial soldiers are beginning to take notice of the situation, and they're growing a little concerned that the Stonecloaks are not helping with the Spirit Warden situation. But then word also begins to kind of pass around, whispers, and Nyx you hear something incredibly interesting. It is believed that Lord Skurlock is dead.
So you would see a little pep in Nyx's step, in that one Stonecloak step. He says, well, today is getting better. You thought your contract was bad. I signed one for 100 years. And the man I signed it with may be dead. So, cheers all around, Alderman.
If you need to go home, we can handle the Phillips.
Did your house just cave in?
Man, is it windy.
It's like, are you the Wicked Witch of the West? What the hell has happened?
The spirits are growing.
He says, no, I believe I've just been freed of my contract. Couldn't have happened to a better time. Shall we
Let's
continue?
go murder some people.
Yes. That can make my mood even better. Good day to
Yes.
end the world.
I have to ask though,
Yes.
what is your backup plan? Your contract is ended.
Oh, no, you misunderstood, Raymond. The contract was so that he didn't hunt and kill me. He's dead. I'm free to do whatever the fuck I like.
Happy days and dusk fall.
That's what I'm saying. Now, let us make with murdering.
Yes.
And he kind of like,
Nyx has a stride in his step.
yeah.
She'll alert everyone.
He's humming a shanty. Yeah, we proceed through. He also. We proceed through to the docks, avoiding the looks of the Imperial soldiers that are eyeballing us.
Okay, and so as you're moving forward through the docks, you see that the towns or the workers and everybody else that was kind of employed by the Norfolk Company to actually do, the rebuilding of the iron ships that was going on. A lot of those workers are not around at all, and you see some dead bodies kind of scattered everywhere. And it's clear that these are the work of the Spirit Wardens as they're kind of moving through the city. And so you make your way towards the iron ship that Steam indicated, and you find a set of 3 iron ships, essentially laid out at the docks, and standing in front of one of them is Steam, kind of just looking at it, pondering and thinking that it's this one there.
So we just hit 3 subs, and since it's the season finale, fucking crits all around. We don't need positions. We're crushing it with positions. Johnny, that means you get one too. To add to your 15, you jerk.
Just accept
I'm
it,
going to give
please.
them all. I'm going to give them all to Steam. All 15 of
All
them
15 of them to Steam?
for his good friend Gellus.
Or you just give them all to G. Ellis. That's all him as an NPC. He gets all the crits. So we walk up on bodies all over the place, and people kind of scattered, and Steam is in front of one of the ships. Right?
Yeah. And so the docks are mostly just dead. There are a few noises that you hear. Occasionally you see some of the Deathseeker crows just kind of loitering around. They do not look like they're actively doing their job at all.
Yeah, oh, God.
I was just going to say, as Nyx and Bowerstone walk up, Steam's just looking at one of the ships, and as soon as Nyx gets close to him, he says, Gellis. How would you pronounce that? Gellis? Gellis, right?
Gallus, obviously.
Okay. Fuck me. That's it. That's the ship.
Is the ship called the Gellus? I don't understand what just happened.
No, it's just weighing on my conscience.
Have you been
It's
calling-
that one.
Have you been calling Gillis the whole time?
The whole time.
I thought it was just your Tikarosi accent. You were just fucking it up.
Do you think maybe I could play that off?
Perhaps?
It's something to think about.
You're foreign, for all.
Well, yes. Maybe it's a language barrier or something.
Perhaps.
This is the weirdest conversation we've had in 2 seasons.
He is also, so I mean, it may not work on him, but...
Well, I mean, it's racist if he calls me out on it, right?
I would think so.
Okay, well,
Different tribes or whatever the hell you people live in.
well, let's stop there. You're getting a little racist.
Okay, sorry. Yes, I
That's the boat you want to destroy right there.
yes, good. Are they on it?
Yes.
Good. Yeah. Raymond, what are you mumbling about?
We're here to kill people.
Okay, I thought you might have had something important to say.
That's never happened.
That's what I say all the time, but you just keep talking. Well then, I guess we can't have the Stonecloaks surround a boat. They can surround the land part of it, I guess.
Why don't we board?
That's what I plan to do. And he
With
begins to walk
cloaks.
up the gangplank. What does an iron ship look like, Johnny?
I'm going to let you describe it because we've never actually run into an iron ship. I can describe what I see in my head, but I think it would be more interesting to hear your description. Or actually, we can just throw it to the table because, I mean, there's a very particular, vision that comes to my mind that I'm wondering if it matches what you guys are saying.
I always thought of in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the Nautilus, whenever it was above ground, it was 17 stories tall, and they're just enormous, and it was just all iron. There's not even portholes and shit. It's just iron.
Yeah, I agree.
It is a gigantic ship. It is not the size of the Nautilus because that fucking thing in that movie was ridiculously big. But yes, that is exactly what I was thinking. It has the appearance of an above the ocean kind of submarine, but it's gigantic and massive and has all kinds of essentially weaponry on top, hooks, spears, all those things that you would use to actually take on and capture a Leviathan.
Yeah, that's essentially what, if you think of, today's ship, but also merge that with the submarine. That's the kind of look I'm thinking of. A giant iron ship. So yeah, he walks up the gangplank towards this ship. I assume everyone shoots me.
Nobody opposes you walking on the ship.
Cool. So yeah, he walks up on top of the ship, and on top of the deck, I guess. And judging that this is an massive iron ship, and we're going with a submarine-esque theme, I assume there's some kind of hatch that lets you down into the ship.
No.
No? Okay.
There is not a hatch. There is a door. There is essentially because it's got a con tower, right? And there is essentially, I can't think of what they're a bulkhead of some kind that you can just open up, right? But it's all the bulkhead doors are essentially closed.
Yeah. So he grabs onto the handle and begins to wind open the bulkhead door.
And it opens up for you, no problem.
Excuse me, I am here with Alderman Bowerstone. I'm looking for the Phillips family. Are you here?
You don't hear anything. The ship is quite massive.
Steam, are you sure they're here?
I've been wrong about a couple things recently, but I'm pretty sure they're inside.
Men,
10 minutes.
file
Next.
in, please. And he motions to the Stonecloaks to file into the ship.
So the Stonecloaks begin to kind of filter in. Do you have them just go through the one entrance, or do you open a number of the doors?
How many entrances are visible from up here?
There are 4, 2 on each side. There are 2 essential con towers.
Yeah.
2 on the first one and 2 on the second one, and both lead down into the bottom of the ship.
Yeah, so he motions to the other doors. He's not super familiar with iron ships, other than sinking them, because that's not what the Dagger Isles people use. But yeah, he motions to those 2 doors and says, file in. There'll be a galley somewhere, probably, judging by the size of the ship, on the 3rd deck. Round everyone up and bring them there. Good? Good. And then as soon as they all file in, he'll walk in after them.
For a good 5 minutes, they begin to kind of peruse the ship, making their way through. It is a gigantic ship. There are a number of levels. It's on one of the lower levels that would be found under the Void Sea's waters that you finally find the family with the stone cloaks, all in a nice sitting room, just huddled there, hiding, trying to be very quiet, realizing that there is something horribly wrong here.
Cool. He kind of looks at everyone and says, "Are you all members of the Phillips family?"
You've got truth. You've got the ability to sense deception, right?
Yeah.
All of them but one shakes their head, and the one that shakes his head no is definitely telling the truth.
Who are you? And what are you doing here?
It's my job to protect the family.
And the first question?
I am their protector.
I didn't answer any of the questions, really. You can leave if you'd like.
You can die if you like.
Yes.
You, personally.
Yes.
Would you like to die?
I need about 15 minutes, is that fine?
No, I think right now is the right time.
Restrain him, and he motions
Blades
to the
come out.
Stonecloaks.
The Stonecloaks moved into the room, and he uses Glorious Visage. And they are all frightened and begin to run.
And all of the people?
They are not looking at him. They knew what was coming.
Okay.
So as he pulls his blades, and they all move into the room, he was just going to take on you. As you do that, as they begin to move in, he goes full bore. You're going to have to roll me a resistance.
Sure.
Otherwise, you're going to be running.
What am I rolling you? Resolve, I assume?
I think a resolve makes the most sense. What do you think, Steam? I would suggest that you push yourself and to take a devil's bargain, if you can.
I suggest to you that I roll a crit, and you can get fucked.
You could have also used a crit, and that's fine.
I didn't. I rolled one naturally because I'm a boss.
So his blades come out, and you can see through his illusion, right? And you can see that he's there. But you can also see in the ghost field that his just energy is kind of radiating out, that it is this gruesome thing. And off in the distance, Steam, as you're just kind of... Gillis. Gillis?
Go.
You hear this amazing just noise as there's a lot of screaming coming from the iron ship as things begin to move. And so as the crew is just trying to push their way out, the others are trying to push their way in, and every time somebody kind of comes face to face with this image as you're fighting it, they panic and begin to run. And he moves in and immediately, essentially thrust, a lunge with both blades at you.
Cool. Yeah, so as soon as he sees this visage, probably underneath the din of screams, he says, "I've seen better." And he's reaching back to grab his normal-ass dagger and his hook.
Okay.
Because, my fucking dagger got broken.
And so, are you resisting his attack, or are you going straight in for the attack anyways? Are you just gonna, sort of...
Oh shit, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll resist his as well. Why not?
Okay. So he's gonna come in with, it's gonna be level 2 stab, because he's got 2 blades that he's just kind of lunging at you with at the same time.
I'm gonna roll another crit.
Yeah, fuck you, buddy.
Cool, what does that do?
That means you resist both levels of harm, rather than...
and I clear a stress. So the stress I took for summoning the Stonecloaks is gonzo.
You hear that? Right there, buddy.
You want to turn that up for me?
That is the craziest fucking rolling we've ever had on this show. That is un-goddamn real.
Well, it's on it's on the level of the rolls that the Void was doing last week when they created their engagement roll for both blowing up the crow's nest and blowing up the crematorium. That's the kind of level of shit that you want to be rolling on a night like this. When you want to get something done, you crit the shit out of it. Okay. Poor Smeedy. Anyways, so you definitely you skirt his movement. You see him. I mean, it's almost like he's telegraphing it for you. He comes in with a lunge, and you just kind of swing off to the side. Now, how do you attack him after that?
Yeah, so these moves are played out. So I see him like, I want to be Steam too. And I'm like, no, not today. He's got the god things going on. And then he charges at me with daggers out like he's running to fucking spear a boar. And I just quickly like dip out of the way. And the hook just sort of gets him like in the gut. That's what I'm going for. Gets him with the gut. And I'm basically trying to spin him with the hook so his back is to me. So let me give you some skirmish on there.
You're gonna hook this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna take out my own spirit hook. Position.
You with that crit, I think you deserve control.
With double crits, I think. I think I'm fine here.
Definitely...
And effect is standard.
Depends, right? You're basically hooking him and grabbing a hold of him. Are you doing it for basically a coup de grace, or are you just trying to restrain him?
No, I'm not trying to restrain him. He's like I'm basically hooking. Like if I dip, I'm hooking him in the gut and then spinning him around so his back is to me, so that I can kill him as quickly as possible.
Then I'm going to say that it's great.
Okay. A 6.
Do you do anything else besides stab him in the back once you kind of hook him and spin him around and just kind of shove the other?
I would immediately go for another attack. Like if he like I would hook him like gut side and just like it would probably tear like because I mean this is a meat hook, so it kind of goes into like his abdomen and then I'm spinning him, so you probably see some kind of tearing and blood begins to pool out of him as he sort of spins and exposes his back to me. And then if I have the time to do so, I'm going in with the dagger.
You do with a dagger, and you kill him with a 6 and those 2 crits. This guy's going to go down quickly. He's not a very good protector.
Yes, well, and he just sort of like takes the hook out of him and sort of and places it down on one of the tables.
And you can see that the family is cowering, but they've still got their eyes hidden as they were trained to do.
So you're fine. You can look now. I've slaughtered your protector. Just have some hiding your face. The rest of you are clearly Phillips. Sorry for the... I tried to let him go. Children. I assume there are children here. It's with the entire Phillips family.
There are a couple of children. There's about 4. 2 boys, 1 girl, 1 baby that you can't quite tell.
Children, if you could stand and exit the room, please.
You see mothers and fathers kind of clutching. You can deal with them. You can deal with us. They're going to stay with us.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I wasn't clear. That is my fault. I'm going to kill all of you, except the children. Now, if you're terrible parents, like the terrible people I believe you to be, you can let your children watch me murder all of you, and leave your bodies to rot in this iron ship, or they can leave and they can be spared the atrocities.
Each of them trying to brandish blades, pulling blades. One of them pulls a pistol and starts to aim it at you. I think you're going to leave, sir.
Is this what we're doing today? I just slaughtered your protector. He had the face thing. Well then, let me tell you a story. How's that? Perhaps we can come to terms. Does that work for you, people? Phillips, family? Children, you can stay for the story time.
They're just looking at you. They're staring at you as if you're crazy.
I am a bit crazy, a bit insane. And you said this was like a plush, like a sitting room, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he sits down in whatever the largest grand chair is.
Okay.
And he, whatever, with the one next to where he put his hook down, and he sits down, crosses his leg, and says, "Just sit, do whatever, or stand there, point your weapons at me, whatever. I don't give a shit." He says, "I have an important story for you. It means a lot to me. I was raised on this story." He says, there was once a merchant in a famous market in Aruvia. One day he saw a stranger looking at him in surprise, and right there and then he knew that the stranger was in fact death. Pale and trembling, the merchant fled the marketplace and made his way many, many, many miles to Duskwall. For there he was sure that death would not find him. But when at last he came to Duskfall, the merchant saw him waiting for him, the grim figure of death. Very well, the merchant said. I give in. I am yours. But tell me, why did you look surprised this morning when you saw me in Aruvia? Because, said Death, I had an appointment with you tonight in Duskfall. And at that, I activate Devil's Footsteps and my cutter ability, and I whoop through the room and slit all of the throats of all the adults.
What about the
And
children?
one by one, the blood begins to drain or spurt, like sprinklers in some cases, from around the adults in the room. And as they all drop, the 4 children, the 2 boys, the 1 girl, and the girl is cradling the baby, the child, the newborn. They're kind of looking around, and then they're just kind of looking at you, and they're just not sure what they need to do. And they're just stunned, and they don't know what they're going to. They're just looking at you.
Children, your family were evil shits. They killed mine. Recompense as I kill theirs. Now, I don't harm children, so if you would all come with me, you'll be placed in what appears to be a strangely loving home. This way, and he motions towards the door.
And they kind of look around, and they start to pick their way over the body of one, then another, stepping in the blood and just kind of shivering and getting grossed out, but they slowly begin to follow you out of the room. This captain's chamber in this iron ship, and they follow you back up onto the deck of the iron ship.
Well, Steam, I seem to be having a difficult time dying today. There was a man in there. He did the same terrifying face thing you did, but it was a paltry example of what.
I agree.
I slaughtered him, and the rest of the people. But these are the children of the Phillips family, and I leave them in your care. Still need to die, though. I tell you what, Bowerstone, can you watch children for just a good 5-10 minutes?
Give you 5 minutes.
Okay. Steam, if I could borrow you in the ship, please.
Sure.
So he leads in to the same room where everyone's dead. And he attunes and enters the ghost field and sort of like motions for Steam to do the same thing. And when Steam does, there's this huge gash that he tore even wider. And through it, you can see all of the family, the Desterosi family. And he walks to the edge of this cavern of the family and says, "While I didn't find the man in Aruvia who sets the family up, I have done everything I can to give retribution to those who destroyed what we had. I've brought down their establishment, I've brought down their entire family, and I have turned over the heirs of their family to a god. I hope this will let you pass." And he waits to see what they do. Do they do anything?
They linger.
Okay.
They look at you as their faces come more into focus, and your sister kind of moves to the front, and she motions you down.
And he kneels.
We have nowhere to go. Your father says thank you. He can at least... We can all be, at least, at peace.
He's like full on his knees. He has like his hands on his knees, and you can see his head kind of bows down, and he says, "Well, that is the least I can do." And as he says that, he shifts back out of the ghost field and puts his hand back and says, "Steam, the bottle, please."
Hands it to him.
And he takes the bottle and holds it in front of him. And he raises his head up and he says, "Well, this is the last chance you'll get to kill me, Steam."
Are
He
you sure?
exposes his neck. "Well, there's no better way to go, and there's no one else I'd rather have it done with. So,
He pulls up beside Nyx and takes one of his blades and puts it to his throat. And as a way to maybe send him on his way, he says, "Do you know if this goes well, you'll be Taikarosi.
he is hoping."
Immortality may be within your reach yet, Mr. Destarosi." And he draws it across his throat.
And we'll call that scene as we cut to OC. Where is OC?
With all these people yelling in her head and her going dizzy, she's given up on the ritual. But she's taken a bunch of the items from that room with her.
All right. And where are you going?
She is taking Nye to one of the bridges just to sit out and be alone. Just sitting quietly with her.
That's all you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to cut to Bowerstone then. Steam walks out, dragging the body of Nicholas Dexterosi.
You see a little bit of shock in them, a little bit of sadness. He really went through with it.
He did.
Such a sacrifice for that reward. I mean, for all the shit that I gave him. I still hope he's okay.
Steam walks up and he puts his hand on Raymond's shoulder. He should have let you do it, Raymond. But
for safety reasons, Steam, he didn't.
No, I think in his own way, he gave you the gift of not doing it.
Yeah. He's good like that.
Alderman, we are getting near the end now. Care to take one last walk through the City of Dusk?
Of course. After you.
He, just for safekeeping, even though I'm sure that we've already bottled Nyx in case he's come out, he'll take the body anyway and sling it over his shoulder and begin walking towards the echoes.
The Echoes.
Or where we're supposed to take him.
Oh, the Archive of Echoes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you're beginning to make your way through the docks, off in the distance, you see a great deal of figures towards the north.
Oh, fuck me sideways. Do I recognize these figures?
If you're looking in the ghost field, you do.
They're the same figures I saw when we were outside the ghost field.
Mm-hmm.
Alderman. We have less time than I thought.
Always seems to be the case.
Maybe one last run through the field. You're back among the living. What do you say? And he slips into the ghost field and takes Nyx with him. And...
Leaving the Stonecloaks there?
Yep. Because fuck those guys.
Alderman, those happen to be the seat of your power in a lot of ways. Do you leave the Stonecloaks to their fate?
At the end of it, Raymond never really cared much about power. He only really cared about a family. So right now he is going to run off with his brother and leave everything that they built behind.
You're not going to follow Steam?
Yeah, that's what I'm meaning. He's going to leave the Stonecloaks and everything, and he is going to follow Steam.
Okay. So, you arrive back at the Archive of Echoes. Again, it is empty. Charter Hall University is absolutely devastated and empty. You make your way down the stone steps, down into the actual library proper, the first level of the archive. And you see the hustle and bustle of the spirits all around you as Lord Penderin is doing his sort of weird, jittery thing as he's got both spirits, the one over his right shoulder and the one over his left shoulder, just talking to him.
Time's come, Lord Penderin. Here's Nicholas Destarosi, soon to be your son.
Kind of looks at you and he just... You're not Skurlock. Skurlock was supposed to bring him.
We have heard Skurlock is gone.
That beast. Never...
Let us celebrate by having Nyx arrive as your son.
Do you have the bottle? The vial?
Yep.
And he looks back over his shoulder, and for the first time anybody has ever seen it, he engages this particular spirit over his shoulder with a commanding voice and a commanding stance, and the spirit begins to back off. And you see, out of all the chaos of the spirits, Nicholas Penderin kind of move forward, and he waves you. And Lord Penderin stands up, his wife behind his left shoulder, Nicholas behind his right, and they move farther back into the archive. And if you both follow them, they take you down to the second level to a large ritual chamber. And on a stone platform is laid the body of Nicholas Penderin, well preserved and healed in ways that you don't quite understand. It looks fresher and newer at first, but there are clearly things that have been done to it to preserve and prepare it. Place the bottle there, he says, at his head. And he looks back to Steam and he says, "Are you sure your friend really wanted this? There is no going back."
I believe so.
Then he snaps his fingers. 4 torches in the room light up. The light emanating from them is a purple sort of spectral energy, sort of Leviathan blood kind of a flame. And we're going to fade to OC, sitting on the bridge.
After some time of sitting there silently, she's looking at these items and to spend your entire life collecting these things, to have that kind of knowledge. Well, time for a walk while the boys are distracted.
Where do you think you're going?
For a walk.
No, I don't think so.
Is the sisters?
Nope. There's a voice coming from behind you.
She turns around, just looks.
It is the spitting image of a previous demon that you faced. This is Sal, brother to Al. And he's smiling at you in his cocky, sort of lopsided grin. I believe you met my brother.
I'm writing this down. Are we sure it's Saul or Sal? Saul or Sal? Never mind. Go ahead.
Maybe it's Gal.
Better call Saul, I've heard it said.
She'll lean in, kiss an eye on the cheek. It'll be but a moment.
Oh no, no.
And she'll hop up.
It won't be just but a moment. I brought friends this time.
Cowards usually don't fight alone.
Oh, I'm not a coward. I'm just serving a greater purpose.
Which is?
And he points in different directions. While you were reveling in these items that you had and these memories that you had, you failed to notice that there was a horde coming out of the Eelry and the radiant energy fields. And they
Of course there were.
They were slowly moving in your direction.
Okay. Can I grab Nye by the hand, slip into the field, and use my ability to get away? Back where they came from?
Back to where?
Where the eel farm, where they came from.
You can try.
Okay. I can also crit.
You can try that too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna use it.
Okay. But when you arrive there, Sal's waiting for you. And you were surrounded by an undying horde of men and women and children.
Yeah, I believe she would have stopped right on the edge of the pool.
Edge of the pool?
She wouldn't have stopped until she was at the eel farm.
And they are right there with you. The fields are filled with them as they're kind of moving towards you. And Al says, it's a really easy trick.
What is it you want from me?
For you to stick around till the end.
The end of what?
I don't know. That's what KS wanted me to have you here for, though. Would you care to escort me? Because you're clearly not going anywhere else right now.
So,
And he raises his arm. I treat a lady very fine.
clearly, you bring a crowd as well.
I call it an entourage.
She's going to lean over and hug Nye. Just holding her for just a moment.
What are you doing? She says. Why are we here? This isn't what we agreed to. I have to help Steam.
And I'll roll it, but I'd like to tip over into the fish farm or into the eel farm with her.
She's gonna pull back.
Okay.
There's not gonna be a roll. She's gonna pull back.
like be out of my grasp when I do it, because I'm doing it instantly while I'm already hugging her.
No, she was pulling back when you were trying to hug her. She was already resisting you, trying to figure out what the hell you were doing. What are you doing? She says. Why are you doing this? I'm supposed to help Steam. You told me that's what I was supposed to do. And she pulls back even farther. Let go of me. And she pulls her hand back. Why would you do this? Why would you bring us here?
It was to be our last day regardless.
Not like this. We're supposed to help them. You told me
We
to
did.
trust Steam.
We did help them.
Did we? That's not what Steam said.
So you are with Steam now.
You told me that I was to listen to him and that I was to trust him. And I made a commitment to him.
Choose.
Choose what? I want to be with you, but I'm not. I don't know what your plan is here. I don't know what you're trying to do.
Yes, you do.
And Al is just looking at this, laughing, silently, kind of.
Yeah, she's ignoring him. She doesn't care.
Love her spat much? It seems like you've already chosen for me, she says.
I've chosen for me. You said that you
That's
trusted
selfish.
my decision.
I trust you
Apparently not.
for us to be together. What are you trying to do?
Sisters don't intend to do this.
She begins to turn away from you. I can't do this. Not until I've done what I was asked to do, what you told me to do, which is to trust in Steam.
Okay. Have it your way. And she's going to turn to Sal. And if I don't go,
Your girl won't be with you.
that's clearly evident. She's chosen another Taikarosi, if you will.
Well, clearly you have made her an uncomfortable choice.
We do that.
And it's my turn to do it with you. Would you take my hand?
No. The last time I did that, the sisters joined me. They would not have this, whether I go with you or not. It will not end well.
The sisters are strangely silent.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that.
No, the sisters are strangely silent, though. They know what you're intending, and they're staying out of Al's way. You get that impression.
The sisters will not let me help Gaius. You must know that.
I'm not here for the sisters to help Chaos. I'm just here for you to be there at the end, young lady. I am a fair bit older than you, even though you've got things inside of you.
That are older than you.
They are older than me, not by much.
Hmm.
When you vanquished my brother, it made a huge problem for all of us.
It was easy.
Yeah, he was kind of weak.
Yeah, I see it runs in the family.
He was the runt of the litter, so what are you trying to make me mad? You're not going to make me mad.
And you're not having me. I am not going.
Nai is trying to push her way through the horde, and the horde is not touching her at this point.
Yeah, she can go. She chose. I'm going to use Tempest, similar to how Nyx did. With the clap.
And do what?
Knock all of these enemies, push everyone back from me.
Okay. So...
Really just knock him so he's not steady on his feet.
So you're surrounded by a horde with Nai inside of that horde in that body. And you do this? Okay. Everybody around you in a good 40 to 50 foot radius all begins to get pushed back, and some of them are tumbling over, and some of these bodies, these animated bodies, are falling on top of Naya as she's just trying to struggle and get out of it. And Al is just sort of like, yeah, you're powerful. So, you can kill me too. It's not going to change. You need to be there at the end. It's important. You want to end your life after that? You do you.
It's not just mine I'm ending. I don't live with sadness. I don't live with regrets.
I'm just the messenger boy, but I've got a pretty strong message, and I've got a pretty strong hand to get
So do I. I am not going.
He moves forward to reach for you.
Okay. I'm going to use my sash to try to push him into the eel pit. To try to physically direct him past me when he reaches.
Okay, roll it. Situation is going to be controlled, or the position is going to be controlled. It's going to be, I would say, a standard effect, though.
Can I bump it up to limited? I don't know how many things I have.
Bump it down a limited, but yeah, you can do that if you want to
Sorry.
use one of your effects or your positions for that.
Yeah.
So as you do that, and you kind of pull him in, he kind of looks at you and says, "All right, but I'm not the last." As he kind of falls in, this feels kind of tingly.
She'll go in after him.
Okay. And describe to me what it's like when you dissolve yourself.
She puts one foot up on the ledge. Looks to Nye. Smiles.
Nye's not looking at you. She's already looking. She's already
looking at
focused
her.
the right way.
Yep. She still looks to her and smiles. And before she goes in, I'm going to do a flashback.
Okay.
I left instructions and notes.
To who?
One to Steam and one to Nye. In the event
Okay.
that she didn't go with me.
Okay.
And she's going in. She embraces it.
All right. And we're going to cut back to the ritual room. It is a long and arduous affair. It is painful as the body screams and Nyx's spirit screams. But after many hours, there is a crack of lightning that you hear across the sky. Outside, 2 stories down in here, you hear a crack of lightning, and at that crack, Nyx wakes up in Penderen's body.
Mr. Desterosi.
Not only is he immortal, he's mute.
We can't hear you. Is it you? Say something louder.
Sorry.
Has it been Nikes this whole time?
It was nice this entire time. I'm sorry. This... Oh. What is this? Your son always talk like this? This is terrible. I'm gonna work on that, for sure. Okay. Appears as though it worked. guess we have a ritual to complete.
You feel an insatiable hunger in your belly that you can't quite explain.
Oh no, I can explain it. What it's for, he's not entirely sure, but he knows the cost of this whole thing. He kind of looks to Bowerstone and says, I need to eat something. I'm sure we'll figure it out before this ritual is complete, but and he kind of like turns and says, "Dad." That's gonna take some getting used to. Should I call you Dad? Lord?
You are not my son.
Okay. So we don't have to do the whole pretense thing then.
The only pretense that you have to provide for anyone is that you are a part of this family. Behind closed doors, we understand what this deal is.
Good. Well, it appears as though everything worked out in everyone's favor. Skurlock seems dead, my job is complete, and you have your son back in a way.
My son is right here. You are not my son.
Well, you have something back, at least.
You were very lucky that he chose not to re-inhabit his own body. We thought about it. But he does not wish to be bound to the strictures that you will find yourself. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have my work to get back to.
I have one more thing for you. And your family.
What? Our legacy is not enough?
No, this is for you, not me. There's a ritual about to be performed. If you know any way or any place that will protect you and yours, go there.
What is this ritual that you speak of?
I'm not entirely sure what it was called or what it will do, but it uses this as fuel. And he kind of motions to like where he knows there's like, well, I mean, I guess there isn't this time, but there was dozens of ghosts and stuff. So, the ones you'd like to protect, I would do so.
What are you implying? Protect? What are you planning to do?
Fix the world, I think.
You are mad. Enjoy my son's body, Mr. Testarossa. You are not welcome to anything else until I die. And he steps out of the room. And at that, you notice, because you can see them without attuning, without any effort, the wife looks at you horrified. But Nicholas, he gives you a little bit of a smile and shakes his head, and because he knows exactly what you're about to do.
Yeah, he nods at him and says, yes, it's that one. So...
And he moves on.
So the lightning towers? I don't like this voice at all. I did a thing about that. The lightning towers, how are we going to...
It would take months to rig them correctly, to perform and adhere to the symbols that we found in the books and the pages. It would take too much time. And for a moment, everything freezes. And when it starts again, Steam looks 2 or 3 years older. We must go to the park.
weird preposition, but okay. So how are we going to handle lightning barriers?
It's done.
How? You just said it'd take months.
It took longer than that.
You'll have to show me that one too. And
OC.
oh yeah, where did she go?
She is...
We'll find her. We'll find her. We'll all get together. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
We must go to the park.
Yeah, let's head.
All right. Alkyok part it is. It is, well, I mean, maybe not, but it was swarming with Imperial soldiers.
It is clear.
Oh. Where was this months ago? This is incredibly convenient. Alright, well, lead the way, Steam. You seem to be doing a whole lot of that. Whoa, he's shorter. Okay, this is gonna take some getting used to. Go ahead. I will catch up. And he starts to follow after you, kind of ungangly.
Okay, so he leads them to the... Where is that, Johnny? Six Towers? The center?
Yeah,
To Ankh
So you-
Park.
not to Ankyart Park, the park in Six Towers that's just across the street from
Oh yeah,
Oh.
the well.
the estate,
The
the
Vale
Vale
Estate.
estate. Going back to the beginning here.
Bum bum bum.
When he gets there, he turns to the two of them. This is the end.
So that's it. Once this is done, everyone lives their own life.
I don't know, Raymond.
OC should be here for this. Let's go and find her. Surely we have time for that.
There's no time.
So for a little bit of reference to Steam's current disposition, I'd like him to share with us what that time stop looked like and what those years looked like.
When Steam stopped time at the Echoes, he went through Duskfall and meticulously laid the groundwork for the ritual, making sure that every symbol was perfectly drawn, every wire that could feed it with the energy of the lightning barrier was perfectly placed. What he thought would take months ended up taking him years. And he did it all within the frozen moments. And while he was crisscrossing the city dozens and dozens of times, he kept coming back to the Eelary where he saw the body of OC slipping beneath the waters, unable to change what had happened. And he kept thinking over and over, if he had stopped time 30 seconds sooner, he could have stopped it. And he would stand there for weeks and stare at her, forgetting why he was there, just keeping the entire place frozen, thinking perhaps that's how he would finish his life, in a frozen moments of Duskfall. But finally he would reorient himself and go back to the task until all he did was fall upon it. And for the final years that he was there, that's all he did, until everything was perfect. And then he returned to his brothers.
So with all of that, how do you begin this ritual that you have you're not sure what it will do, but you have hope? How does it begin?
As all endings must, with a farewell. And he takes out a weathered piece of paper that looks like it's been read for years and years and years. And he lifts it up and reads it one last time. And it says, "The sisters would never have let me live. I was a prisoner of theirs since I was a child. You are a god, and I have taken down the sisters. Nai tried to stop me. Do not blame her. I love you, Steam." And he takes it, and with every thought that he's ever had since he's been abused, since he's been subjugated, since he's been turned into some type of idol, some type of god, the worship, he pushes it all to the side. He thinks of nothing else but the love that he has for the people that he has met in the Shroud, for his sister, for even their enemies that have come before them, for people that have protected them, for people that have fought against them, for everyone in the City of Dusk, living and dead. He opens himself up to the one thought that has driven his entire life, not one of ascension, not one of immortality, not one of godlike power, but of an opening, of a return of this world to the afterlife, of swinging the door open, of healing the sky in more ways than one, of reconnecting the earth to the heavens. And as he speaks, the ancient words come out. Are they demon? Are they God? Are they divine? He doesn't know. But for the past several years, he has learned them, repeated them over and over again. And he begins to say them. And as he turns his head up towards the sky, he looks one last time at Nyx, and he nods for the man that he hunted, that brought him out of the shadows. He nods, and he looks at Raymond, and for the man he considers a brother, he nods. And not knowing what is to come, but finally understanding what the judge meant, he looks to the sky and prays.
And so, with all of that, who are the ritual elements of the sacrifice? Because there are four.
Every soul in the City of Dusk, living and dead. That's how he keyed it.
Okay. Time freezes for you. This time it's not you. It's the person that you know is the judge, and he steps up. What have you learned?
The world is broken. It is not for me to heal it. I am not a god.
But you are powerful, and you have done much.
He looks back at Nyx, who I'm assuming is frozen. That man. Doors and keys. We, the Shroud. We were the key. We are not gods. But we can open this door.
You were granted a gift so that you could understand this moment. Do you understand the true nature of that power? Let me share you then this one bit of insight. It's not what we can do in the moment. It's what we can do with all the time in the world. And you did that. Small sacrifices versus big ones, even though you chose to sacrifice everyone. And he waves a hand. This, an owl appears in front of you. This was the demon that was supposed to be. And then he waves another hand, and Sal appears in front of you. This was the one that was actually going to participate. He waves a third hand, and there's another one that you don't recognize as by name, but you do recognize as the same. This is the demon that would sacrifice himself. And he waves another hand, and in front of you appears Nye. This one would take the body that she inhabits, and she will make it whole once more. And he does this a number of times, picking certain pieces of the puzzle out of the world of which you were going to sacrifice for the light. And as Nye is separated from the body, she is made whole again. As all of these pieces sort of come together, time is still frozen. He looks at Nye and he says, "What would you have for her? She's earned something. What would a god grant this devoted child?"
OC.
And he waves his hand again. And in front of you is a frozen OC.
With their knowledge, but without their voices.
I will do one better. She waves her hand, he waves his hand again. And she returns. Free of the bonds which the sisters had presented her, and free of her body. And for her, what would you grant? She points to OC.
Give her her love. Nye. Forever.
And what about yourself? You who sought godhood, and who feel humbled in the presence of your true power.
I am done.
But you can do so much more. Would you like to?
Yes.
And he waves his hand, and you feel all of your burdens, all of the weight of the years lifted from you. Knowledge not changing, experience not changing. And he points to the two standing next to you. This one and that one, and he points to the body of Nicholas Pendrin, inhabited by Nyx, and Raymond Bowerstone, the only true mortal left in the group. What would you grant them?
As my brothers, I would give Raymond peace. He's never had it. And for Nyx, all the power he craves. And then the realization that he does not need it. And peace.
And so he steps forward to Nyx in the body of Bowerstone, or the body of Pendrin, and touches him. And Nyx, you were brought out of time. Standing in front of you is a renewed steam and a reawakened OC, standing hand in hand with Nye.
And from the moment that Steam nodded to him to the moment he nodded to Bowerstone, Nyx knew that OC was gone. And in that second, before he froze time, all of the memories of Nicholas Pendrin flooded through him and mingled with Nyx. Knowing that the world was over and we were about to hit the reset button, Nyx was playing through a mixed emotion of his childhood, the privilege of Nicholas's childhood, and then he relived in that split second before the end the first time he met young, scrappy, dressed as a boy, OC. Sassy, opinionated, and still wet behind the ears. And he relived that, their first score, the finding and bottling of Nye, their next score, years down the road, and their final score, the destruction of the mansion and the finding of the books, giving her the book, their separate ways, and then that mingles in with his memories of Nyx, meeting her shortly thereafter and bringing her in, and then introducing her to everyone here. And so his two lives sort of merge to a point where he's not even positive which memory is his and which memory is Nicholas's. And the moment he gets brought to the current time, he sees OC and he sees the judge standing before him, or he sees Steam standing before him, and it was in that moment where Steam's eyes switched to Bowerstone that his knees began to buckle, and as soon as he's brought back to reality, he falls to his knees, and you would just see Nicholas Pendrin weeping silently, sort of confused at what's happening, not sure how to process the emotions from Nyx to Nicholas and back. And you see him kind of look up, just red-faced, at a frozen OC holding the hand of Nye. And he looks up to Steve and he says, What is this?
I don't know.
Is this the end?
I think it's the beginning.
Where do we go from here?
The shroud is lifted, my friend. Wherever we want.
As you two are having the exchange, the man you know as the judge steps over to OC and to Nye and touches them both. And they become aware and into this situation.
Can't leave well enough alone, can you?
And in the pause, Nicholas is looking up. And OC, you would see for the first time your friend fully alive. And he stands and sort of stumbles towards you. And just wraps his arms around you. And it is the most confused feeling because he leans in and says, "Didn't think we'd let you get away that easy, did you?" And you hear it in Nyx's voice.
I'm more surprised that you're actually hugging me.
Yeah, so am I. This has been a strange time. And it's kind of bouncing back and forth between the two accents.
When she pulls back a little bit, she takes your chin and points it to Bowerstone's frozen face. At least that stupid expression is still there. She just smiles over, remembering Bowerstone.
And the judge, the man you know as the judge, walks back in front of Steam. Peace for this man, and points to Bowerstone. Are you sure?
He's never had it. It is the greatest gift I could think to give him. He has had money, power, but all at a terrible cost. It has broken him. He has felt himself to be inadequate, but he has proven in my eyes to be far more capable than perhaps any of us. If he had peace, he could do great things. Without the burdens, without the noise. So yes, I wish for my friend to have peace.
A life without conflict does not mean a life of peace. You understand that, right? You who have experienced what you've experienced. So I must ask you to make sure that peace is what you ask for him.
I want his soul at peace. Bowerstone can face any conflict. He can fight any foe. But when he is struggling with a bisected soul, he is always going to be at a disadvantage. I want that healed. I do not want him to have a life without conflict, a life without need. I want inside, behind his eyes, to be whole, and for him to know peace, even amidst violence and conflict.
As you wish. Do you wish to say goodbye? Or does this peace begin with your absence? All of you, and he looks around. Do you want to say goodbye to him, or do you want to leave life simpler for him?
I will be selfish, and I will say goodbye to my friend. Then he can have his peace.
And he reaches out and he touches Bowerstone. And for the first time, Raymond is pulled into this reality. And the man that you know as the judge steps back. Time is important here, so make it short. He steps away.
Coming from the man that can freeze time.
For Raymond,
Cost.
for Raymond, he was closing his eyes, not wanting to see what was about to happen, but just ready to embrace it. And opening his eyes to seeing everyone else no longer preparing for some sort of impact, but rather all looking at him. He gets that stupid grin that he gets. And he takes him a couple of minutes to regain his breath, seeing first of all Lucy back with him. The girl that he first met at Eden, and even with their background and history, considered her a sister from the joking to their serious arguments to everything that they went through. So to finally see her with the group brings happiness to him. And he looks to Nicholas, couldn't give a shit about the vessel. But the man inside, who he first used as a coat rack, to leading him through an adventure of mystery and intrigue and opening his life to different things, and whether Raymond wants to admit it or not, Nyx made Raymond Bowerstone into something more than just a man in a mask looking for justice. He gave him and showed him opportunities in life that he never knew. And he will never be able to truly express through to arrogance just what that means. And of course, to Steam, his mentor, who, when he first saw this mysterious man in the shadows looking at their books, who he wanted to kick his ass for being an intruder, but then showing him a kindness and a guidance in a different direction in what he could, in the abilities he could have, taking the time to listen to him express himself like a child would to a father at times even. The training that they would go to, and the final realization of when they were in his home, Steam looked at Raymond and forgave him. Something Raymond had never really experienced was a lot of forgiveness. And Steam offered that to him, and everyone else did. And he just looks around, smiling and remembering everything they've gone through.
Lucy reaches one hand out for him.
And he takes it.
Can I touch you? Like he just hugged me. He's a witness.
He takes her hand and he gives her a hug. And even through the happiness that he sees her, the game whispers to her, "I'm so sorry for everything. But you've gave me so much kindness, OC. Thank you."
I wouldn't change one thing.
He pulls away from the hug. Looks over to Nyx. I always thought that I could crack you.
I always thought I was going to kill you.
I guess we both were wrong.
Yeah, she did it.
Thank you for showing me what I could achieve.
You've done well, Raymond. You just needed someone to open the door.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. And he simply just at a handshake.
He takes it and shakes his hand.
And then looks to Steam. He used to call me Alderman, and I used to call you Mentor. But at the end of the day, more than anything, you were my brother. You helped me through things that I didn't even know I could battle. You gave me gifts. And you helped me to fight. Thank you.
I just held up a mirror, Raymond. Goodbye, my brother.
Goodbye.
The man who knows the judge steps us forward. Is it time?
Yes.
He looks to Raymond and he says, "You will remember all of this. As you age, it may fade, but you will remember what was said here in your dreams. Now, if you'll excuse me." He touches you and you freeze.
Wait. I have one more thing. And he walks over to Raymond, stands behind him, and he begins taking his coat off. And as he does so, he slides a card into his shirt pocket. And he puts the coat on and stands back and says, "We're done."
"Do you want to know what's next?" he says. "Or would you like to be surprised?"
I've planned everything until this moment. Surprise me.
And he steps back and he smiles. And as he looks around, you can see that the runes that Steam painstakingly had inlaid across the ground, the runes and the ritual circle that he had constructed painstakingly glow. As you can see, it begins to glow all the way out as far as the lightning barrier. And that glow becomes even more and more intense. And time begins to move again as Raymond sees the last vision of all of you. And there is a crack of gold lightning across the sky. Raymond, that flash is incredibly bright. And it blinds you for a second. And when your eyes clear, your friends are no longer there. For Nyx, Steam, OC, and Nye, you're still there for just a second. And then the man looks at you and he says, "Now if you'll follow me, I have a door to open." And you all just begin to move just in a direction that you're not even sure what direction it is, because time and direction and sense no longer have any reason. But standing in front of you is a set of double doors, man-sized, with a ornate lock. And he produces a key and he says, "I believe this belongs to you," and hands it over to Steam.
He turns and, for the first time with almost a childlike expression, he looks at Nyx and he raises the key and looks at OC and just kind of shrugs. And he puts it in the lock and turns it.
As the door swings open, light spills in. And it is bright and it is harsh at first. But there are smells and sounds accompanying the light. And he looks first to OC and to Nye, and he says, "Your choice. Whatever is beyond this door is your choice. But you will know peace, and you will know love. And I hope that that is enough."
With her it is. And she walks through holding hands with Nye.
To Nyx, he next looks and says, "You have quite a friend here. Beyond that door is hard work, but I understand that you don't shy away from that. And with it comes an understanding of what your true opportunities are in this world and in the next. Are you ready to work hard?"
Always.
And as he motions you to enter the door, he touches you on the shoulder and grants you divinity.
And at the last second of him stepping through the door, he just turns back to Steam and nods and then crosses the threshold.
Your friends are waiting for you. There is much work to be done.
Thank you.
You earned this. There is no need to thank me.
And yet I do it anyway. And he walks through.
And we fade back into Bremen Bowerstone, standing alone in a park across the street from the Vale Estate, in an abandoned neighborhood. And for the first time in Raymond's life, it is quiet, it is calm, and he does not fear the dark. But nothing quite has changed just yet. There is no perceptible change. Where does Raymond go from here?
Raymond goes. He goes to the Vale, where he partook in his luxuries of eating, drinking, and being merry.
As you're
Calm,
sitting-
peaceful.
Go ahead. So,
No, you're all good. Go ahead.
as you're kind of enjoying yourself with a drink, one of the city officials from Charter Hall comes running in. "Oh, Alderman, I'm glad that you're here. There's something really odd going on. We need your help. There's a call for the council to meet, and we need all of the aldermen to come immediately."
At once. Yes, of course. We will rush off with them.
And so as you're taking the cab and just kind of looking outside, for the first time, you notice a really strange glow in the east that continues to intensify. And as you arrive, that glow goes from purples and blues to dark orange and a subtle red as you enter the council room. And everything is a flurry. You hear weird rumors, strange tidings. The ghosts are gone. The ghosts are gone. I can't hear them anymore. You see a whisper testifying to the council. I can't hear them. I don't have the insight. I don't have the ability. And at you entering, the council goes, "Bowerstone, please come up here. Alderman Crowsfoot, please come up."
Yeah.
we're not sure what's going on, but we know that you have a wonderful ability to lead the people in speech. Please, can you start to make some announcements to help quell the...
Sure, I could end it on a speech.
And so, thank you, Mr. Bauer, or Alderman Bowerstone. We've got a platform being set up out in Charter Hall. Please just address the reporters, address the, it'll be as soon as we're ready. They're waiting outside.
Yes, we can't keep them waiting. The people need peace. Of course. So he makes his way out there and looks at the reporters and whatnot. So, do we have questions, or should we get into it?
And from behind you, you feel a blade in your back. And you hear the words, Balmore sends his regards. And that's where we're going to end it.
I just want everyone to know that I wasn't crying. The veil got in my eye. There's a lot of makeup under here.
Nobody was crying tonight. Not at all. Nope.
Oh, man. That Steam speech got me. There was onions cutting in my room. That was rough, guys.
I'm gonna call it a work tomorrow. And lay down.
I still have one more night of this. Fuck all of you, all right?
No, you don't. We already did. Everything's gone.
No,
I made
there are
Slade cry.
consequences. There are consequences to this.
They started it. We're finishing it.
I made Slade cry. I'm fine with that.
Oh my
My
god.
job's done. Oh,
I'm spent, guys. I need a drink.
I don't know what to do. How to outro this?
I don't think we do an outro. I think we just say goodbye. Fuck
Yeah.
it. We're not doing it the same way. It's the last time.
Cool, guys. This was the series finale of 6 and 20 Blades in the Dark. We played this game for 6+ months here on this channel. It's been an intense ride. If you are just joining us, it's on YouTube. Go check it out. And yeah, from all of us to you. Bye-bye.